Welcome back
to Just Weirdly Blended.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Jesse. And you guys can see we got a new setup here.
Yeah, we're doing away with the fake screen. We're doing just real background. Trying to see
I think
if that
eventually
works.
we're gonna like have a little something on this wall.
Yeah,
maybe white with black with the logo. Something. I don't know.
Gray, maybe.
Gray.
Something.
Oh, gray's always a nice color. Gray's very good.
So yeah, I don't know. We're switching things up. Like we gotta keep
it changing all the time. I think that's good.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing. So yeah, now we got the table moved.
Trying a different camera angle, sitting across.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good.
I think so.
Yeah, feels natural.
It does.
Don't look at my sides.
I know. I look a little bigger in the camera.
It's okay. Maybe I don't know. The camera adds 20 pounds, so
something like that. 40 pounds since it's two of us, right?
Right. Yeah, double that to like 80 pounds overall.
You got such a cool notepad.
Thank you.
I literally have
me.
This is my parking
index card. So where is that from?
The Davenport.
Oh,
so this that's
why it looked so classy.
Yeah, so it's super classy. I was in Spokane for work.
Nice.
I went there Tuesday, and then I stayed Tuesday, went home Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed over at that Davenport. They put me up. Yeah. Which kind of was cool. It was a nice little hotel.
Yeah.
It was called it was very safari themed.
Yeah.
Never really put two and two together because like the lobby or somewhere down there, they call it the safari room or whatever, the restaurant.
Okay.
Didn't even think about it. Get to my room and it's like 2 beds, which I already thought was like, okay, that's weird. It's just me.
Yeah.
And then it had like these little pillows, but they're like in a tube, a roll. They're just like a throw pillow.
Okay.
But they're about this big and in like a
like the decorative kind of.
Yeah.
Like you have to take your pillow out of a tube.
No.
I thought maybe it was like a COVID era thing. Like
it's I know. I'm just fucking fresh every time. It's in a fucking
Boom.
What is that seal?
Yeah, vacuum seal.
Vacuum seal, and it's away from germs. No, but it was leopard print.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, this is
I feel skanky.
I did, yo. I felt like I was about to get boned right there in the hotel by someone. I had to look in my closet. Who's going to be
sleeping in this second bed?
That's what I want to know. Like, are they going to set someone else over? Because it's like really close to these railroad tracks and stuff downtown.
Yeah.
And like you could see like some of the iffy peeps down there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, right downtown Spokane. It's a little shady in places.
No, yeah, it was definitely a little shady, and it's weird because they have the Davenport, and then across the street they have the Davenport.
Where do you take like the Lincoln exit or the Monroe exit? It's one of those down there, isn't it?
I don't know. I went down Division or something because of where I was coming from.
Oh, okay.
I was already past downtown.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it was like Division.
Okay.
So I was down by Mission Street. I guess it's called Maxwell too.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird because in GPS Maxwell, so it's like take a left on Maxwell, and I'm like, okay,
I don't see Maxwell.
There's a Mission though because that's the street I need because of where I'm going, and then I find out from my tech, I was like, hey, what's Maxwell? Oh, that's the same as Mission, the same.
Really? I don't remember that.
It's a double street,
but
I guess there's a couple streets where it's like. If you hear it, it's that street.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I don't know if at one point it had a different name.
I don't know.
But no, it was a cool little hotel. Like I said, it was very safari themed. And so pictures on the wall, like fucking rhinos.
Yeah.
I had rhinos, elephants.
Was there a picture of Jim Carrey coming out of a rhino's?
That'd be great.
But
I wouldn't be shocked, but that'd be great. Dude, this is also how skeezy it felt. Like, was... So you got your bed, and then like the headboard, you're like, it's like a wall that they have, whatever. And then, but it's a mirror.
The headboard was a mirror?
Yeah. So like the sides came out like this.
Okay.
Your bed kind of sat in that
cubby or
small
whatever?
little cubby, yeah. And then the
It's all
headboard part,
mirror.
it's a mirror, so I can see myself.
Yeah.
Like what the
Single man here.
yeah. Single man, married man, wife not here.
What kind of crazy things am I gonna do?
Yeah, Pornhub, here I come. I'm just playing, but like
looking at yourself in the mirror. Oh, yeah.
yeah, the motion. I was like, what the hell, dude? This is weird.
Yeah, and you said you didn't even end up playing game. Like you brought your PS5.
Yeah, I brought my
right?
PS5. I hooked it up. I started playing it.
Nothing.
Then I got some food, and then I talked to Alicia for a little bit, and then I was like,
just out.
Yeah. I had like a beer with my meal.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a little drink, and then
Nice.
I was like, dude, I'm kind of feeling snacky.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere to like. But at this time, it was already, I forget what time it was, 9:30 or so. But like, I guess the food service, I don't know.
Yeah, like room service or whatever.
Room service was closed. I was like, damn it. So I walked downtown and I walked to like a fucking convenience store. I just happened to see a convenience store. I was just like, let's see what's down here. And then I was like, we'll go in there. And it was super sketchy. The floor, they had this carpet on the floor. And then I walked on top of that carpet because, there was like some of the vending machines, not vending machines, but some of the little, where your sodas are and stuff.
Right.
The floor started sinking. It was like giving away. I was like, I'm just going to get off this.
Man.
It was very...
lucky I wasn't with you. I would have gone through.
Dude, you'd have made some money.
I could have.
Or maybe.
Maybe
not. Because
maybe
they
just love me down there.
If they can't even afford to fix their goddamn
throw the carpet
floor.
back over it so nobody knows.
Like, shit.
Yikes.
Another one. Jerry, another one.
Another fatso fell through the floor.
I know. But then I got some chips and stuff, and then I was like, oh, this is boring. So then I went, the bar's right there, so I went down to the bar and had some spicy shrimp, and then just had a whiskey sour.
Okay.
And then felt very awkward. So I'm not like a going out type guy as it is,
right?
But going out by yourself.
Pretending like you have something important to do.
It's very weird. I'm like sitting there at the bar. There was a few people spread out. I ordered my spicy shrimp.
Nobody came and like sat with you and started a conversation.
Fuck, that'd have been weird.
What you doing, brother?
Yeah, but like I was just like, this is weird. This don't feel right.
Guy comes up. I'm from out of town too. Here's my room number.
Yeah, dude. What do I do?
Were you paying attention to your mirror bed headboard too?
We can look at each other.
I was gonna hop on Pornhub later if you're interested.
I know, dude. I was just like, I ate my shrimp so fast. I was just like, okay.
We have never in our lives seen someone down spicy shrimp so quickly.
It was good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But it was, it's just weird.
No, I've been there.
I'm a married man. Not that it's, I mean, it's just weird to be.
It just feels like out of the scene, right?
It does. Like, it doesn't feel right. Like, even if I was a single man, like not married, it would just, I don't know.
Well, it strikes me as the type of place like, people would be on a business trip.
Yeah. Well, there was businessy people there.
Yeah. So like, what are you going to do? Like
sitting by myself, like, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe if I was drunk.
If there was a game on or something, but
there was a game on. There was a basketball game. It was like the Lakers, and I forget who was playing that night. I know the Lakers, they lost, but the game I think was probably already over prior, but I was just watching like the rerun.
The highlights and stuff, yeah.
Like, okay, this is boring. I was like, check, please. Can I get that shit? I need to go back to my room.
And just fell asleep.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then going in the elevator, you have to fucking use your card.
Mm-hmm. Your room card?
Yeah.
Just to get into the elevator?
No, the elevator will open, but then to let it go up and down to go to your floor, you have to put your room card in and then push, what floor you're going to or whatever.
So if you tried to go to a different floor, would it let you?
It probably would because you have the card
as long as you have access
a hotel.
To
yeah,
hotel.
I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense because you might be visiting somebody on a different floor, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah, Jerry from floor 7
from accounting.
But like, but when I got in there, I was like, this was even when I first got there. the door shut and I push the button, nothing happens. And I didn't realize I needed to use my card. And then I seen I used it. So I start putting it in, pushing the button. Nothing's going on. I'm like, dude, I was there for like 2.5 minutes.
Sweating a little bit.
I'm like, holy shit, can this thing work? And finally it worked. And then even later on, same thing. I just had, maybe about a minute. I had trouble. Dude, for someone who's in IT, I was feeling like some of the users we've helped.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then,
I don't know how to shut this thing down and turn it back on.
Yeah. Fucking, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Huh.
I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind going out of town and checking out this, like the clinics and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm not an exploring the town kind of guy.
Yeah. Like, let's go see the nightlife.
Yeah. Like, my tech was like, oh man, you should check out this bar, the sports bar. It's pretty cool. Me and my husband go there. Check this out. I'm like, yeah, probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
Probably
it's one thing if you're like there with somebody, but
yeah, if I had like my wife, Lisa and me were there, yeah. But by myself, that's just,
you're either asking for trouble or it's just going to be awkward.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, you're really going to ask for trouble. Like if you're a married person, like you're either going to run into something or you're going to, the temptation on someone might be tempted, hit on you.
Someone might be tempted by maybe masculine wiles.
Right. But other than that, it's just, I don't know, man, not my saying. And then my company didn't pay for it like they were supposed to.
No, they did end up covering it, or they will cover it.
They will. Yeah.
But you just had to fork up the cash up front.
Which I was not expecting.
Good luck if you don't have the funds.
No, they already, the next day I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, I need you reimbursed.
Yeah.
And so, they're like, oh no, we will, just fill it out in this.
So sorry. We'll look into that.
Bro. Like I said, I thought they needed my card because I've been there where they need your card just to have on file just in case.
Right. Like if you damage something or whatever.
Which I understood. Right. So I gave them my credit card.
No, they just billed it.
Which I've been trying to pay off, right? No, they just billed it. I was like, great.
So are they going to make your interest payment too?
Nope. Look, I got like a piece of hair in my mouth. It's my beard hair.
Yeah.
Gross.
Ugh, that happened. That used to happen all the time to me when we had to wear the masks all day.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and I try to keep, like, I don't like getting the lip to hang down here. So I'm probably like 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Easy. I'm
not that good at it, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like when it starts curling into your mouth.
Yeah, I'm going.
Or you're biting food. Nuts. I've had it before where I let it go just long enough that I would take a bite and it would pull all my hair. It's like,
yeah.
Ouch.
Yum.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and I had got in the parking garage.
That's a pretty sweet ticket stub. Like that just looks classy.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's got
What's it drop?
That's a pretty like
it slides down my fat ass stomach.
It's like a luge or something.
Yeah. the downhill skier.
Yeah, I'm not judging because mine was just as bad, but
oh man. My brother and sister have been texting me right just before this podcast, and my brother just out of nowhere was like, "You remember when Jesse used to listen to Hungry Eyes on repeat?" And I started like, "Oh God, this is a true story." I had the soundtrack to Dirty Dancing on a tape.
Was Hungry Eyes and Dirty Dancing?
It was.
Trying to remember. Blanca had me watch that movie with her,
so I haven't watched the whole movie front to back, or
right.
I've seen most of it, bits and pieces, so I've probably seen the whole thing. But yeah, Hungry Eyes. I don't know why. I like the soundtrack.
No, I got you.
And so I would listen to it, and it was a recorded tape that I made.
Okay.
So it was it was someone else's tape, the actual soundtrack, and then I had like a blank tape.
So you recorded it off of theirs.
Yeah. So
over. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck, right. Dude, I'd bump the shit out of that.
All right. Hey,
because I got Hungry Eyes, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So when I was in college, I took a film class. It was a lot of fun. We would like watch movies, and then they would tell us about the movies, and we would have to write papers on them and stuff. And one of the movies I was surprised that I actually liked was Moulin Rouge.
Oh, see,
And
I haven't watched it. I'm not a big musical fan.
I'm not either. But I think I could buy into the storyline, like it being a musical, because it's like this theatrical show that they're in.
Oh, okay.
So even though like some of the scenes, like you wouldn't know the words, that always drives me nuts about musicals. Like, how the fuck do all these people know what to sing?
Yeah.
I mean, it still didn't work in that sense, because there are a lot of times like you wouldn't be singing this.
You're in a whorehouse.
They used to, like, you know, I want to fuck you, like,
I do too.
They used like actual songs, like they used a lot of like, you know, current music, but they twisted it in ways I just thought was very interesting. So yeah, I had one of those cheapo, like back in the day it was really cool, but now it's like a joke. Like it wasn't even an iPod, it was like I don't even know what it was. It was like a USB that would play music,
like a Zune or something. Yeah.
And I had that music bumping in my ear as I was walking across campus.
Gucci, Gucci, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, real Lady Marmalade.
Your Lady Marmalade. Is that what it is? Lady Marmalade?
Marmalade. Yeah,
wait, marmalade, that's a syrup, no? Right? Is marmalade it's syrup?
I don't know. There might be a double entendre there. I'm not sure.
She's a sticky little bitch.
Now, interestingly enough, though, the Christina Aguilera song was not actually in the film. That was just done as like a publicity piece, right? So, but I mean, like, all I'm saying is your music could have been worse.
My music was bad, though. I mean, you know what? I love music.
You know what though? Like, I think it all depends. Like,
it's subject. So it's subjective.
And I do think
subjective.
It is, and I do think that for me, there's something very much about music tied to imagery. Mm-hmm. And it may have been one of those things, for whatever reason, whatever part of that movie it was, it might have just been tied in very neatly to the movement or something. In the
like I said, I'm not a big fan of musicals. I don't know what it is about them that
corny.
I've never.
Typically, they're very corny.
I've never like Grease. People love Grease. I don't. Really
what do you mean? Grease in London.
Yeah. Seeing these little 16-year-olds talk about wanting to be with each, like I'm okay with it.
Right.
Like,
tell me more.
And he was a dick to her and stuff.
You a dirty little whore?
Yeah.
He was like an asshole.
Well, they were both like, it was just, you know, a summer fling.
Like, no, bitch.
Summer loving.
Look at you. And then they take off in the end in a fucking flying car. What the fuck was that all about? Yeah, the car was flying in the air.
It's Grease, man. Come on.
I only know that because I was watching these videos on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever, and it's plots that kind of kill the movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
so, did they mention that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you watch it, and I was just like, dude, this movie's I don't know.
So I tried to watch La La Land recently. Blanca and I both were going to.
Is that a musical?
I guess.
Damn, I was going to watch that.
Pardon me. So I thought it was supposed to be like classic Hollywood, like old school. So I'm like, yeah, I could probably get into that.
Yeah.
No, they were like a bunch of people stuck on a freeway in the beginning, and they're all like singing and dancing all over the place, like in a traffic jam. And like, that would not fucking happen.
More would be like, God,
get the fuck up! Somebody doesn't move.
Like, what the fuck's going on over there?
I
Shit,
mean,
I've been
come on.
here.
LAPD would be chasing somebody, and everyone would be stuck and angry.
Oh, dude, who's ever happy to be stuck in a...
Nobody. And they were like dancing and singing and hopping on each other's cars. If somebody jumped on my car,
I'd be furious.
Get the fuck off my car!
You know how much I'm paying for this right now, bitch?
Seriously, like, I'm still making payments on this fucking thing,
dude. Yeah, Alicia hates when like she'll like we just got the car we have. It's fairly new still.
Oh yeah, no, it's less than a year old, right?
She investigates. Like if she's like, that car's
somebody
pretty close when we
parked close to us. Yeah.
She'll get out and she's like,
oh, people act like hitting your car with their car door is just a normal part of life.
Sorry.
So what I do when I get out of a car is I'll open my door, and then if I think it's close, I put my hand over the door, so
just in case,
my bumper,
right? A buffer. Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I risk my life for it.
Come on. I would suck a dick for my car. Okay.
I would. I love it. It's like family.
We're gonna drill that into the ground.
I wouldn't suck a dick for family. I would eat one. That's the difference. Let's be clear.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I would munch and nibble on a dick.
Just wouldn't suck one.
Very hard. I would not suck on it.
I would injure one. Big difference.
I would injure one. I would remove it physically from the other body.
God, that would hurt.
Oh man.
God, that
Blanca showed me a video. This guy was like asleep. I don't know if he was drunk or just asleep.
With the hot dog?
Yeah.
I know.
They put a hot dog in his pants and then snipped it. Woke him up and snipped it.
God.
That'd be so scary.
Just seeing that, I was like, ugh.
I know. Like, can you imagine the pain?
No. Dude, so back in the day, there used to be this website. It might still be around. It's called rotten.com.
The dark web, right?
It was rotten.com, or it was one of those dirty, nasty websites. Me and my friend, we were in
I've heard of this
high
video.
school.
I've never seen it.
But this one is this dude had his nuts pretty much tied up, and all you see is his nuts, and he puts them on a table, and he gets like a meat cleaver or something. You see the pizza, it was like a blade, and he just removes his nuts right there, castrates himself. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Did he react to it afterwards?
I don't know. I couldn't watch after that. I didn't care if he reacted or not. I think it ended or something like that. Like, you don't see his face or anything. Dude, I seen some crazy shit.
Fake or not fake? Like, just,
No, I think that was real.
It just felt real.
Oh, it looked, for being back in the days, that shit was not fake. This is 90s, bro.
Ugh.
You know, this was in 2000s or early 2000s. This was 90s.
They didn't have graphics for that.
You know, this looked real. Like, just like this guy sat on a jar, right?
Okay.
Goes up his keister. He's keister in a jar.
Implodes.
And and it starts bleeding like crazy. And then you hear him like, oh,
whoops.
Bro, I seen that and I was like, no, I can't. But what made me never, obviously those things should have made me. And then I could have seen these all within the same period of, you know, whatever time me and him were watching. Was this lady had, was it tapeworms or something coming out the cooter? And it looked like ramen, bro.
How the fuck does a tapeworm get in a cooter?
I don't know if it was I don't know. It was just like stringy things coming out of it, right? It looked like ramen to me.
And she's like yanking it out?
No. She's on like a hospital table or something like.
And they're like wiggling out.
I don't know, bro. I seen it. As soon as I seen it, I turned my head. I was like, I'm done. I can't watch this shit. Like, there's no.
Is she like an evil demon or something? Like,
I never watched it again after that. I never even went to that website.
No, that's what I call an octopussy. Am I right?
I'd run. What does that mean? That run mean?
Oh, run. Run.
Can you? Oh,
my God.
You think
it like grabs you and pulls you in?
I know.
Oh my God.
It was very disturbing.
You said you would eat a dick for your family.
Prove it.
I didn't say I need a vagina.
I know. I didn't say clit. You misheard me. It was so.
I'm saying like Squidward's tentacles in my head.
Dude, it was gross.
Yuck.
Dude. It's crazy because this website, like I said, it's old. It was late 90s, 97, 98,
right,
or something like that.
Because I remember somebody telling me about
it. Could have been 98, 99. It was around. I was
this is like
junior,
AOL
senior. Yeah. I was like a junior, senior back then, and we didn't have a computer growing up really until my senior year probably. But we seen it on there and his house. Oh God,
that's rough,
disturbing. But I hate musicals.
Back to the point. Speaking of cutting your own balls off, musicals
are like cutting your nuts off.
They're like chemical castration.
But no, it's funny you mentioned that wiener video though.
Okay, because
I was at the worst place on earth, which is like Get Air, a trampoline park. People, for you parents out there. What I call hell on earth. Like I literally, that's what it's called to me. I think I told you that. It's terrible. It's just.
You don't get to jump. Your kids jump.
A jillion kids. I mean, I could pay to jump, but I'm not going to jump. Right. I'm going to crush a kid.
Right. I don't have that kind of control.
I mean, dude, there's little kids running everywhere. All over.
Yeah.
But dude, it is the worst fucking place on the planet right now. Like I hate it. Like I love that my kids get to play and they get to like let all that energy out, and that feels great. But I'm just like, it's just loud, stinks, like dirty little kids. It's just, oh, dude. And then there was this. So they have this area where parents can sit or whatever. Anybody can sit, I guess. But then they have these massage chairs, like the ones you see at the mall, where you can sit in.
I don't know if they had those.
Pay $1 or something to get like rubbed down. Get a rub down.
Sounds so dirty.
Yeah,
pay $1,
dude. For one, I would not want to sit in that chair.
Yeah,
a bunch of dirty little rub downs in there. I'm good.
Yeah. Fat sweaty guy that got.
But no, get this. This is what was annoying. So we sat next to those chairs. And if you sat in those chairs, it would just beep and beep. Like a car backing up, like a big truck.
It just beeped until somebody sat in it?
No, as they were sitting in it. Like it needs you to pay, and that's all you heard until you paid.
Oh.
So these kids first sat in, and all you hear is boop, boop.
Yeah.
I'm like,
get the fuck out of the chair.
I looked at Alicia, I was like, I swear to God, I'm gonna unplug those. No, I'm gonna unplug these chairs. I don't give a fuck.
That's a smarter idea.
I'm gonna unplug them. I could see the plug right there. Some lady sits in it, and this is just before we're about to leave. Thank God.
Not to use it, just to sit in it.
She just sat in it, just not even. She wasn't even fat. Oh. She just sat in it, and it's just that whole time it was just beeping for like 5-10 minutes straight.
That didn't bother her at all.
I guess not. It was bothering the shit out of me because I'm sitting here. And the chair's right next to me, and I'm just like.
So the beeper was like, right.
That's probably why I got hair in my mouth, because I was pulling my shit out. I was driving me nuts, dude. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, Orange, it's time to go. And I'm like, I got up so fast. Let's go. Because I was about to fucking leave. Yeah. Or I was about to throw some lady off.
Well, you said they actually give you like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Which doesn't happen at that place. Usually
I was trying to leave so I can come here so we can podcast.
We had some important shit to do.
Yeah. Because so today's Saturday, I didn't podcast. I was not feeling podcasty yesterday.
It happens.
I was very out of it. I was tired for one because I slept like shit the night before. And then I just was grumpy. It happens
to the best of us.
It would have not been it would have been just me like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. Are we fucking done?
Shut the fuck up, man. Come on.
Oh, boo-hoo, mental. As I'm having a mental breakdown.
His walls are built up, people. His walls are built.
As I'm laughing and crying and fucking just.
You're like the Joker.
Yeah, dude. It was.
What a good movie that was, by the way. That could have been a musical. I would have watched it.
I might have watched it because it's Joker. Batman related. So yeah.
Man, that was good.
No, my brother and sister are going crazy in their text. Oh, they said I felt every word to that song, Hungry Eyes. You felt every word. Those guys cracked me up, man. I love my brothers and sisters. Yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
We can do that, right?
Okay, I didn't know if that was a gunshot right there. We haven't used it.
No, we've been really bad at using it.
Yeah.
We have like 100 buttons on this thing.
We do.
Well, we have really like 36, but...
That's what that guy felt when he sat on that that jar. Our lady with the little
so the sad thing about that is if you talk to people that work in like ERs and stuff, that's like a daily thing. People coming in with stuff stuck in them is like a daily occurrence.
So Alicia plays this clip, and I believe it was a joke.
Okay,
it's this guy's 911. What's your emergency? Yeah, so can you have the ambulance come? So my wife and I were in the shower, and we got, it was a shampoo. It was a conditioner bottle, pretty big. And
it was a shampoo.
And she put it up, my backside. It's inside me right now, and it went all the way in.
No, that's like, what? May not be a joke.
And he's like, and he's calm as shit. Yeah, no, it went all the way in. She's like, oh, that's, unfortunate. Or she said something. It's like, yeah. So yeah. If you can. And the lady's like, yeah, okay. They're on their way. Ambulance on their way. He's like, oh my God, I think I got to sneeze. And he goes, and then here.
Never mind. I'm good.
Yeah. But before that, you hear him. He's like, his kid must be around. He's like, honey, just grab the cat, walk away or whatever.
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh, you got to sneeze. And then he does that and you hear like the bottle come out, right? And then he's like, where's the cat? And then the call ends. It was pretty fun. So it's either a prank or just like a skit, but it sounded very real.
It could first be. I mean, obviously, if they do that ending, that wasn't real. But no, like it's crazy. People say like that stuff is so common. You wouldn't think that it would be as common as it is.
Well, there's people who stick things in the tip of their wiener.
I heard about that. That was on the radio not that long ago. Somebody stuck something up his peepee, and it. I forget what exactly happened, but.
That's gotta hurt.
Like didn't it tangle around something inside of it?
I think we might have brought that up.
We might have talked about it on our podcast.
We probably have.
Yeah, it like tangled itself inside his like urethra or something.
God, I'm hurting.
Yeah,
I am hurting.
Like just I don't know.
I'm hurting. I'm hurting for a squirt.
Ouch. Ugh.
Oh,
not good.
I'm gonna just text my brother and sister back. They're making fun of me.
Speaking of pee problems, this was something that was really funny when I. Several years ago, my parents and I don't remember exactly what we were doing there, but we were in the Seattle area.
Yeah.
So we were over in, what is that called? Alki Beach area.
Oh, yeah.
Alki Beach.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we were nice.
We were over in that area and we were driving around and like, I knew Seattle generally. I was kind of living in the area at the time. And so I knew like where Alki Beach was, how to get there, but I didn't necessarily know how to get other places from there, So we're using GPS to get around. And there's this road that clearly by the street signs is Bonaire Drive. And
Bonaire Drive.
To this, I'm not kidding you. GPS said, and at the time it was a Garmin. Like Google didn't even exist. Garmin said, turn right on Bonaire Doctor.
Boner Doctor.
Boner Doctor is what came out of Garmin's mouth. Like everybody in my family can attest to it. Wyatt thought Boner Doctor. I don't know. It was Bonair, Bonaire, and then DR period. Which
I get it.
Like, wouldn't their software know DR probably means drive?
I mean, you're talking
doctor.
What, early 2000s,
this
mid
is like
2000s?
2000, like I don't know, 2009 maybe.
That's early. That's early.
Latest.
Okay.
Yeah, Boner. Turn right.
12.
Boner Doctor. It was.
I believe that, dude, because software was a lot different then. Like
we all laughed so hard. It obviously wasn't that smart. Anytime, like I had the one where you could make phone calls on it. Oh, every person I tried to call didn't fucking work. Call Dad. Calling Mojito or whatever. Like
Mojito.
There'd be some random thing.
It's all
you're like,
Mexican man.
Yeah.
Hola.
Call Matt. Calling Juan.
Calling mojitos.
No.
Not Juan. Oh, dude, Garmin. I used to want one.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how you think when you think about technology because you're probably right. It was probably like 2007, 2009, around there, right?
Yeah.
Because you had flip phones that were still pretty prominent.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have like just Google on your phone.
No, you didn't. Like I want to say during that time, I had like an LG chocolate slider phone.
Oh, yeah.
Thought it was so cool.
Neo.
Oh, yeah, for real. So you didn't have that. And I mean, recently you've just been getting the GPS.
It just gets to the point
it's
now,
crazy,
like you might as well just use your phone. And like you could MapQuest stuff before you leave and like print out the hard copy, right?
That sucked too.
Like write it down, then you're looking as you're driving.
At least it's not the old school, the Thomas Guide or whatever.
TomTom, right?
No, there was a map that was called the Thomas Guide.
Oh, okay.
And it was like depending on the map, it'd be like thick, and it would be like kind of like a bigger version of the spiral notebook.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Page 40.
My parents still have that.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Right. Well, we're in Utah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, the only thing that sucks is that, streets are getting updated constantly.
Yeah.
And you're looking for
even Google sometimes
Mojito
is off,
Drive. You're like, no.
So our car is a 2012, the car that we bought, and it has some old school software built in for it, probably like a Garmin software. Yeah. And when I drive to work, like the entire street up to my school is just like footprints. Like it doesn't even recognize a road there.
I think it's a walking.
And I don't think that there's any way to update it. It's just like every day it thinks I'm just like Wild Westing it through like the desert.
Oh no, Tom died of dysentery.
I know. You were shot by your dad, like hunting buffalo. It's funny. I there's got to be some way to
Tom's
update it.
Dead on boner drive. Boner doctor.
Tom died on boner doctor.
Tom died on the doctor's boner.
Oh. It was for my family. Okay.
I had to do it. I had to do it. No, but
yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
GPS, like the thing that pissed me off is back when I had the Garmin and I was in Seattle. Like there were several times, like downtown Seattle, it's probably a lot better now, but the buildings are tall enough, like you lose signal.
Oh,
so I would be like,
you're probably
downtown. Right. Like this is, I got to the point like I was pretty good at getting out of Seattle. Like I could figure out kind of where I was or generally where to go. But when I was first like in that area, you know, I didn't know where the fuck I was, and there was traffic everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
downtown sucked. I used to live close to downtown.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like live there, but I lived like more the Puyallup area.
Yeah.
Graham, if you know where Graham was.
I know Graham was.
But
I went camping out that way.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty much. That's my aunt's house and camping. That's pretty much what Graham was. Yeah. And so I was living with her at the time. And but I go to Seattle a lot just to hang out and have fun and stuff.
Damn, that's a drive.
Yeah, the 405 up there. If you went on the off hours, it wasn't so bad. If you came back in traffic, it was pretty shitty. Ugh. But no, I mean like it like you know, it was always fun because they had like the TV screens that would tell you like, oh, like it's 20 minutes to downtown Seattle, and all of a sudden you'd hit a traffic jam. 109 minutes to downtown Seattle.
I know,
okay.
Right?
All right.
Get comfortable.
Yeah, like
especially when they were doing a lot of
well, like where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Like, are you gonna turn off? I remember there was like a turn off to there was a city. Oh, what the fuck was it called? It was like a Midwestern town, Des Moines.
Oh yeah.
Remember the Des Moines exit?
Dude, I went to school right by Des Moines.
I always felt like that was like a serial killer central, right? Like
by Kent.
There's definitely a serial killer living in Des Moines, Washington. Right?
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of serial killers are
Green
from Washington.
River guy. I mean, come on.
Well, my sister lives in Des Moines.
Oh, never mind. Des Moines is great. I actually never went there. I never went there. So
there is some pretty nice like areas there, but no,
I can actually see that.
So you're on Pack Highway. Yeah, that goes through Des Moines, goes down to Tequila. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's very dirty. Pack Highway's prostitutes and shit all up in there. It's nasty, bro.
Is Sumner on that highway?
Sumner is that towards Tacoma?
Sumner is
Sumner's
out.
Way. Isn't that more north?
Because my cousin lived out in Sumner, and he always called it Scumner. Like back in the time that I was there, Sumner was not very nice. But I think a lot of like yuppies have moved out there now. So
I always thought Sumner was. I always thought it was nice.
Well, he lived in like maybe the one apartment complex that was like the ghetto out there. But
my sister lived in like Lake City for a while, and that was like in the area she lived at. It was a little sketchy looking.
Yeah,
but like the city, you know, overall, I think it was decent. Bad. Yeah. So it's probably like that.
Yeah, and bear in mind, I haven't been out that way like probably 10 years.
Dude, it's been a long time since I was there.
Probably changed.
Because I used to live in Tequila.
Okay. Tequila's like just south of Seattle.
So
right?
Not Tequila. I used to live in it's Skyway, which is pretty close to like Seattle, the Seattle area.
Kent kind of area?
No, this was like I was pretty close to Seattle. Like I was by like Airport Way.
Okay. So like Renton kind of.
Yeah. I was like really close to Renton and stuff. So we would I would know how to get to downtown Seattle going the back way to like Airport Way and going to downtown. I could get there, but no, I went to school in Tequila, and Des Moines was pretty close.
Okay.
And SeaTac and all that. They're all pretty close.
Right. Yeah.
But they were all pretty dude, I'm telling you, like my high school, there was my high school. And then at lunch you could, walk up if you were allowed out of school, if you were like a sophomore, junior, or whatever.
Yeah.
We can go to like up the street, and then you'd go across Pack Highway, and there'd be like Taco Bell, KFC, or there'd be places you can eat. And so, me and like friends would go there. Me and my ex-girlfriend would go there. But one of the places you'd pass, and then I'm telling you, this place was pretty dirty, was a strip club.
There you go.
You go, if you were 18,
head on down to...
Dude, the strip club was closer to the school than the Taco Bell.
Wow. That's something that doesn't happen over here.
And now it's a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, well.
It's probably something different now, though. But that last time, a few years ago when I was down that way.
Shut down the strip club and it became a Mexican restaurant.
I think it came a few things before.
I was going to say, I guarantee you there's still stripper poles in that Mexican restaurant.
Tortillas! I know.
They spin real good.
What is that meat on a stick?
Oh, yeah.
They just have the fucking meat on it.
It was a gyro or whatever, gyro.
There's some type of rotisserie meat on it.
Sorry. We're not responsible for any STDs you might.
We wiped it down. It's fucking good. Sorry.
Yeah, we used Lysol. It's
fine. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I got this thing keeps catching. If you guys see me messing with this, it's my headphones were catching on the thing. So it's
every time you change something a little bit,
we got to adjust.
It comes with unforeseen.
But that's the thing.
Circumstances.
We just show people we're real.
We're still real, you guys. We're still real.
We keep it 100.
Yeah. Oh, but hey, thank you to all of you that are listening to our shorts. We have a short that made it to like 1.5 thousand views.
Hey, dude, that feels like millions of views to me.
Yeah. Like, I feel like we're getting close to Joe Rogan status here.
So close.
11 million or like 111 million. Or
so close.
So close.
I don't know how many listens that dude got on Spotify. A lot.
I wonder what it would take to get Joe Rogan onto our podcast.
A lot of money.
A lot.
Joe, I'll just give you 1.5 mil. One of these days.
Joe, can you imagine how cool it would look for you if you just came on some random young guys podcast?
How old's Joe Rogan?
We're just out of college getting started, Joe.
How old is he?
Come on.
Let's see.
I don't know. Joe.
I got this. Hey, Google.
48. I'm going to say 48.
How old is Joe Rogan? He's 54.
See, I complimented you. I said 48. You got to come on the show. And then Will Smith. We'll get Will Smith on too.
Dude, he's like 12 years older
Joe
than me.
Rogan, we promise you an exclusive.
13 years older than me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm 41.
You're aging yourself.
I'm 41. So
I'm 36.
So I guess he's pretty close. But yeah, dude, you know what? I think one thing would be cool to do to get on, like, for this show. And you guys, out there, the ones that listen. Like,
the 19
seriously,
that actually listen.
The 19 to,
but like we were talking in the beginning, it was like
5,000 people.
Yeah, the 1.5 thousand people that listened to George Bush giving advice or whatever the fuck.
No, but just like, if you guys, like, seriously, we would really recommend people, hit us up or whatever. But
yeah.
I would like to actually try to get like, I don't know who would get on, but something family related.
Mm-hmm.
Someone famous, not famous, but
like reachable famous, right?
Yeah. Like someone in the YouTube community, maybe that's pretty high up there. But they're very family focused. It would be cool to get them on there just to kind of get their views,
right?
And just talk to them about how it is, like, growing up. Maybe they were a family growing up in YouTube and, like, stuff like that. That'd be sweet. I think just to get that perspective in that family sense.
And I did want to real quick. Matt is decent.
Yeah, Matt's decent.
Matt is decent. Okay.
Matt's
so
decent.
Matt, I'm guessing your name is Matt. If not, hey, he actually reached out to us and commented that because one of our videos is about, like, mental health and stuff, and he said, it's hard to get out of bed sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to Matt and say, even if you don't listen to the podcast, I want to just throw it out to the universe and say, you know what, we get that.
We get it
sometimes. And if you feel like really like it's something that
just like I had mentioned just a few minutes back, is yesterday was very tough for me.
Mm-hmm. You felt wiped out.
I just felt wiped out. Like, obviously I was tired because I didn't really sleep that night. I think I woke up like 100 times.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't go to sleep until about 4-ish in the morning, and then I woke up at 5:30.
Had to work and everything.
Yeah, I had to get up at 5:30. But, like, even just once I got home, usually I can power through some of that shit.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like, mentally I was drained, and mentally I was just like not in it.
Yeah.
So I felt like I couldn't give people the best version of myself.
Right. And we
So
are all
that's why I
about the
reached out
best
to you.
version
And I
of
felt
ourselves.
bad. I kept saying, sorry, man.
Nah, it's all
Sorry.
good.
I'm sorry, man. But no.
I said, fuck you.
He's like, fuck you, man.
No.
You want this podcast
It
thing,
was
but
all
you can't
good.
do it?
Yeah, you know
Little
what?
Puss.
You don't not
Little-
show up. God damn it.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's all
Matt-
good. But anyway,
Hey,
I
I think Matt is decent. I think that's thank you for listening.
Thank you for
commenting.
honesty.
I think that's
and
awesome.
you know, like,
I get it. I've been there.
yeah.
I
And
have
if you
those days.
really feel like it's something that's happening all the time, like, you know, go
Reach
ask for
out,
some help.
dude. Even if you need to talk, reach out. Like
We're here.
we're here. We're lonely guys.
We're always here.
Lonely guys.
Yeah.
We're lonely guys, Matt.
I know you think we're so cool, and we just spend our days by the pool with ladies and stuff.
The ladies we hang out with.
I know.
So what if they're our kids and our wives?
Yeah, the last lady I hung out with was your daughter.
I know. Poor my own daughter couldn't even text me back. Oh, that kid.
Man. No,
Text
Cheeky
it.
was hanging out.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
That was,
Yeah, she was here.
they're having fun by the pool.
Now they're good kids.
Yeah.
I always feel awkward when kids are around adults, so I have this thing like
Yeah. They were doing all right.
No, they're
just,
all right. But for me, I just have this thing when kids are around adults that are like
Yeah.
maybe just hanging out drinking. I'm like, okay, kids, go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
You guys came over for something else. Don't hang around the adults.
Yeah. Let the adults be the adults. I gotcha.
And I don't know if that's the old man in me or what it is about it, but it's just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
You're killing the buzz here.
Yeah.
You're killing the buzz.
because I feel, and I don't know if other parents feel this way, but like awkward.
Yeah.
Not awkward. I just feel like I got to kind of try to keep it toned down.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But again, I was sober, so it's not like that's why. But when
Yeah.
I'm like not sober, I don't care. So is
that was my
that
problem.
I'm like a hypocrite.
They showed up when I was already not sober.
But is that like hypocritical of me? You know,
No,
because
no.
like
I think that's just like, dude, you're smart. You know what I mean?
like I should be that way when I'm not drunk. When I am drunk, right? I should.
yeah, well,
I mean,
well, it's not like you. Like, I don't think either one of us, like, we're stupid, but we're not like.
no, I was like, wait,
stupid.
what do you mean? Yeah,
You know what I mean?
oh,
like,
yeah, no, we're
like we're not like. I don't know. We're not setting them up for a future of failure.
No,
like when
no.
they're around us, we're just like yelling and stuff. Like, hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna knock this glass over on accident.
Yeah, this guy was like,
Oh, accident.
I'm your
knocked.
deal.
Yeah. Call me Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't.
No.
And then I was so sad.
I was. They only call me dad, so that's cool. But I mean, I
No,
obviously
it was good times though. Good times.
she has a dad, but still. But no, it was funny.
Yeah.
And they mean it in love, obviously.
We're getting serious now.
You know, they love us, even if they don't. They act hard. Kids,
No, I'll tell you the one
kids are
thing.
weird like that.
One thing that I do think
But
is
the fact
cool
they like to
about
come
Eli
over.
though.
Hmm.
Eli always listens.
Eli,
Like
listens.
if you talk to Eli,
He was bummed he couldn't come.
he listens. I'll bet.
He was a little bummed because he was looking forward to it.
I think it'd be great to have him on for a short where we don't drink and we just like
Yeah.
like have a little
Uh,
conversation with him.
He might be here next week because Easter's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Because we're doing an Easter egg hunt, so you guys better
Mhm.
come. We're
Yeah.
gonna be doing a big Easter.
I know
egg
that we're
hunt.
going to my cousin's for a bit, but we'll
we'll be
coordinate
doing
with you.
Easter.
so.
We're gonna do Easter barbecue.
Cool.
Standard shit.
God, it's already Easter time.
I know.
Where is 2022 going?
I don't know, but I like the direction.
I know it's actually I should.
I'm not
be
gonna lie.
excited.
I mean, aside from wars and Will Smith slapping people, it's going in a good direction.
You know what though?
It's standard.
Will Smith slapping somebody. That might be just entertaining.
That was
eventually.
kinda entertaining.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's still sad. But
That's still sad. But anyway, enough of him. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, Easter's just around the corner, but he'll be here, I think. So maybe I have him on that Friday or something.
yeah. I think it'd be
Just prep for him. I would like to have him on. I know he was looking forward to it. So
Well,
Eli,
I think
I'm sorry, bro, but
Eli for
he's a good kid.
Yeah, he's a good
He's a
kid.
very
And I
good
think
kid.
that youthful perspective of I mean, there's some things he could talk about. He's talked about
Yeah,
what he wants to do when he grows up and those types of things.
and he's still trying to find who he is. I
Yeah.
think
And that's a hard thing to do.
it is.
when you're like 15 years old. I mean, I still don't know.
Exactly.
who
He's
I
trying to
am
find
or
who you
what
are.
I want to do. Like,
Dude.
obviously,
I was in my 30s when I decided, you know what? I want to mess with computers.
Mhm.
before that, it was just whatever.
Well, like for me, like I'm not unhappy at all with what I do.
No,
I'm glad I've done it now. But like at the time, did I think this is like my calling?
Yeah, exactly.
It just kind of felt like the obvious choice, and luckily it worked out. I do actually really enjoy it, but I don't know.
Yeah, because for me, I didn't know what my calling was for a long time.
Yeah,
and
that's actually a good question. Like, is it normal to have a calling?
I don't know.
Is that even a normal thing to have a calling?
When you listen to like motivational speakers or anything
like the success,
and so they're like, find that thing you love and just do it, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, like that's the thing. Like, how do you know?
Yeah. Well, the thing I love is Pornhub.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my own fucking porn star.
I'm gonna be a porn star.
You know what? I'm gonna make my own porn website.
You know what? This is gonna be great.
I know. Fuck. That's what I mean. Like,
come on, you gotta also know your limits.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they make it sound so easy. Find your purpose. Find this.
It's too general, right? Like the advice is so general.
Like, I get where they're going with that, but at the same time, it's like a lot of people, a lot of just normal Joes, average Joes, we don't know what our purpose is. Sometimes
when you got to feed your kids.
For me, like the only thing I could ever think of was I was good at customer service, right? I'm good at being like talking to people in a way. I'm not a salesman in that sense.
Gotcha.
But I like to help people and I feel good doing it, and I do it just because I like to do it. I don't do it because I feel like I need to do it or I have to do it.
Yeah.
So if someone asks for help, usually a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I'll help you, and it's not because I feel like obligated. It's just something I like to do.
Yeah.
But where would that fall?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to be a professional mover my whole life.
Volunteering. Like I'm going to be a professional volunteer for profession.
I'm going to feed my kids volunteering forever. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a professional volunteer. Call for my pricing.
Yeah. So like I work on computers.
Yeah.
And so like they always say, look in the stuff you love. So for me, I've been trying to figure out, okay, like what I do is cool. Like being a supervisor has its up and downs. I love my team.
Okay.
I love my team.
You do get to connect with people.
Yeah. They make my job stupid easy, which I always tell them, you guys make my job easy. Thank you. I make them sure, let them know I appreciate them because, I really do because I've been in their position and I know what it's like not to get that acceptance sometimes because you put a lot into what you do.
Right.
But for me, my purpose, I guess, was like, what am I doing? But then I'm like, you know what? I'm helping people in a way like, yeah, it's stupid shit like your computer's not working or your phone's not working or your printer's being stupid. But at the end of the day, it's like you help this person and maybe made their day a little better.
Well, no, like,
you know what I'm saying?
If I'm going to take a scenario.
I'm trying to look at it as in that, like, okay, I'm making these people feel kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, I want to tell you something though. Like this maybe not be quite on the same level, but we lost one of my uncles a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was there at the house when
I remember that.
I had to run over there and be there for my aunt and try to figure out like when I got there, they were doing CPR and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was in with her trying to keep everything okay and kind of coordinating with everybody else what was going on. And it was one of those scenarios where they said, we were kind of like, I think at one point my aunt apologized or something like, just like the things that you say
which
in those moments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And they just said, like, don't worry about it. We see this every day. Like for you, this is once in a lifetime. For us, it's like every 20 minutes.
How sad.
But that's kind of like, I mean, obviously not to that level, but someone that's got all this stuff due and their day's bad and everything's going to shit. And their computer crashes on them.
Yeah.
No, it could be their error. It could be whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if they don't know that simple little thing, and you see it 100 times a day.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about those moments that may not be something like a death or something like so extreme, but like you have like that opportunity, like you said, to make somebody's day.
Yeah.
You take them from like above and beyond stress to like, oh my God, okay, I'm all right.
Well, so that's the thing. Like I would never look at my job that way until like I started listening to like some motivational speakers, some older guys. I can't think of his name, Brown or something. I can't think of his name. But he like some of the stuff he says. I start like the way he said it. What resonated a little better.
Like
it's like, okay, don't look at it like I'm trying to find something different. Just look what's good, what I'm doing,
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'm helping people.
Because it is somewhat a narrative, right? Like, I mean, it's a little bit of looking at what's already happening.
Yeah. What am I doing?
Like, yeah, right.
Instead of waking up like, oh, I got to go to work and blah, and which I do a lot, right? We all do that. We all wake up and we're always like, fuck, I got to go to work, or it's Monday, or whatever. I've been really, and I'm still guilty of doing those exact things. But I try to look and they're like, okay, awesome. I get to help people. But you see, the thing with me though, it's like, I don't get to help people like I used to. So I miss that aspect
because you're doing this more direct supervising.
I'm supervising the people that get help. But then the cool things that make me feel good is when I get like emails from users like, hey, so-and-so, I just want to say, they helped me, and it just
you're facilitating their success. Which
dude, it made me feel so good. They helped me out, and like I just want to give them kudos.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and it makes me feel good. Like it literally does. Like one of my techs just won Employee of the Quarter.
Nice,
right? And so it's like, hell yeah. That made me feel good. And like I felt like I was
played
pumped.
a part in that,
dude. I was pumped.
Yeah,
I was like, hell yeah. That's awesome.
Nice,
when my texts get nominated or anything, like I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah.
It validates that we're doing what we're doing, right?
Nice. Yeah.
But doing these site visits that I've been doing with them, I'm getting a lot of good feedback from users like, so-and-so's been they're so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're not just saying that because I'm the supervisor.
Right.
Because, when people see me, they don't look at me as a supervisor type. Because, there's those type of people. I don't know how to explain it, but you'll see
type. They're like,
you'll see someone and you'll be like, oh shit, this guy's a serious person. He's a serious, we got to be mind our P's and Q's around this guy. I'm not that guy. Like, I don't think I give that vibe off where like, oh shit, the big boss is here. Normally, like I'm walking with my techs, I'm behind him. They're like, oh, this is my supervisor, I'm like, oh, and so then I'll joke around.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
And so
you're more like a peaceful vibe.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Yeah. And so I don't give off that vibe. So being able to interact, but get that good feedback, dude, it was cool. It feels good. So I'm looking at it that way.
Yeah.
So, where I'm getting back at is like, for me, I guess my thing was just helping people.
Yeah.
I'm a people helper.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm helping people. I'm in the customer service business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what I'm in. My title's a service supervisor.
To some degree that we all are. I mean, like really, like, I think about like teaching. I'm a teacher, right? And I mean,
your customers are little kids.
They are, and their parents. I mean, it's like,
oh yeah.
I kind of like one time there was a point in my life where I was like frustrated because I was like, I got kind of caught up in how much people don't understand education. How much people make assumptions about what teaching is that it's really not.
Yeah.
And like it's very oversimplified. Like most professions, I think everybody kind of has a views of most things like, all you do is this, this, and this.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you can get kind of like, okay, no, that's not what it is. But it's funny because I remember talking to one of my former principals and I said, like if you think about what our product is like children in the future. Like our product is
you're molding these kids, dude.
Where it's not something on a shelf that we have to move. It's not like it's a human being that we're responsible for getting to what they need to be when they're an adult. Yeah. And that's a huge responsibility. And but like it is so innately rewarding though to just get to some little point. Any kid, I mean, it's like your own kids. Like if you feel like all of a sudden they can do something they couldn't do.
Oh, it feels good.
And that joy that they have about it.
So like my son, JJ, when he learned to ride a bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the joy he seen, like you could feel it for him. Like
they
it just
get it.
Felt
they
so
own
good
it,
for him. And now he can just do it all the time, right? So being a part of that, like for you, that's gotta feel good. Like you see Susie Joe, she just figured out this math problem she's been trying to figure out for the whole year or whatever.
Susie Joe was horrible at math.
Exactly. Or they can't read.
Oh, right.
And all of a sudden they're just putting these words together. Yeah. That trips me out to think about. To be honest with you, our sons, Remember, they couldn't read for shit.
That was funny as shit, by the way.
Right? Hey,
we're
can't
installing
read.
a toilet, and we're like, "Go on, guys! Like, go figure it out." They're like, we can't read.
Yeah, my son tells us, "Dude, we can't read." You idiots!
That was so fun. Yeah, no, no time.
They're trying
for
to figure
us.
a game out. Yeah,
We can't read.
You know, we can't read. I mean, you ain't lying. I guess you're right. You're gonna
They
learn
can,
today.
though.
But now,
like they figure it all out. Yeah,
well, that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
but now, like, they can read and they can do things, and it's a trip.
Your kid goes from like being incapable to like somewhat.
That's got to trip out too, because I don't know if parents, and the only reason I get this is because obviously we're best friends, and I know you're a teacher, like obviously, but like I don't think people understand, one, the stress that could be being a teacher.
Sure.
Two, you're a big part of this kid's life.
Yeah.
Because if you like it or not, most of the time these teachers spend more time with kids than the parents.
It can be true, depending on the circumstances in that family's life. Yeah. Yeah.
Kids are going to school from 8:30 to 3 something, right?
Yep. Some kids are staying through YMCA after school.
You know what I'm saying is like that's a lot of time spent. Like my kids get home at 3:30. I'm with them from 3:30 until bedtime, 8. We'll say that's 5 hours. That's not as much time. Obviously, you're not with these kids like one-on-one. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, and you really can't be.
But
no, it is a different relationship, and it is an interesting.
But you're molding these kids in a way still. You know what I mean? And I think
this is like the crazy thing is like
that's
this is
crazy.
It's a very rewarding thing when you've been in it long enough. Like my first year at my new school, nobody knew who I was. Like no kids knew who I was because I hadn't taught anybody.
Yeah.
This is the first year. There's like that tiny bit of like celebrity feeling where kids
like, you don't got Mr. Parham.
Oh yeah, like kids that you don't even know will be like, "Hey, Mr. Parham," and you're like, "Hey, I don't know who you are," but you don't say
you're
that.
handing out autographs.
Yeah, like, "Oh, let me sign that for you." In passing, hey.
Throws it. Well, I just was saying hi, Mr. Parham. You can take that shit.
I don't even know if that was really your name, but yeah, no, like it's
thanks, Susie Joe.
No,
that's
you
cool,
do realize like you are sort of filling this role in these kids' lives, like.
Well, if they say they stay at that school the whole time,
like kinder to fifth.
Now you're what, a first grade teacher?
I am. Yeah.
So now these kids are going to see you all the time. Well, not all the time, but a lot of times. I
still see kids from my first year, which is when we had the COVID shutdown and all that.
Yeah, you see this one kid named Elliot or something.
Yeah, that kid. He was in my second.
And he's
grade. I see him from time to time.
You see him from time to time.
He's the only kid I'm. Yeah.
I got to see that kid.
He's my son.
But, anybody who doesn't know, that's his kid.
Yeah. He was in my class, which I didn't think I'd ever do, but then we started the year in the shutdown. Yeah. So I had him in my class, and that worked okay. He doesn't remember a thing from my class, of course, but that's fine. He learned.
I think as fine. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I would assume this. Being a student or being a kid of a parent who's like a teacher, it's got to be a lot of pressure for that student.
I think it is, but I think also
like when you're older, obviously,
when they're in your class. I think there's that kind of feeling of like, I don't really have to care that much. You know what I mean? Like, cause
now you got to be a little harder though. Do you think?
I think in a normal year I would have, but the way that last year started, like he was in my class and I wasn't allowed to leave my desk. Really?
Well, no, I remember he'd come to our house.
It was insane.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He'd come to our house.
He was with you guys for half the week. You taught him more than I did.
It was so cool because I would see him and JJ at the table, and literally the first thing I would think, I would see these two little kids, they would be talking, and then all of a sudden they'd be quiet doing their work.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sat there one day and I just looked at them, and all I seen is their backs and them at the table with their heads down studying, and I pictured them as high school kids.
Yeah, right.
Doing that together.
Well, the fact that like,
I think there's going to be a point where it's going to come. They're going to go to the same high school, our middle school.
Oh, well, they will. We live in the same neighborhood, so
you know what I mean.
They will.
Like, I don't think we want our kids to go to. I don't know if we want JJ to go to the school that Cheeky's going to.
What school does she? Oh, Kennewick?
Yeah.
Well, that's where Elliot's going to have to go.
I know. We don't know. I know
Really?
Elena wants we were talking to Southridge at one time.
We were, but that was when we lived at the old house.
Yeah.
We're
I mean, are you still able to do the other one though, you think?
I could try to see if I could pull some strings. It probably depends on who the principal is.
Obviously, that's going to take a while. But, we'll have to figure out where we go.
It's going to be way sooner than we think, though. That's the crazy thing with kids.
But I seen that and I was just like, dude, these kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. That's crazy to be a part of these kids' life. Like this guy I worked with who was an IT guy. He was the network supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to school for his master's.
Uh-huh.
And I'd always talk to him. He was a cool guy, Steven Forbes. Shout out. He got his master's, but he ended up leaving where I work and he became a teacher.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. He's like subbing right now.
Like a technology teacher or just teacher?
Just teacher.
Yeah.
Like, so he like grade school.
Not just teacher, but yeah.
Yeah. So he was a sub he does different subjects, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But he was like JJ's PE teacher.
Oh, really?
For in February. He was subbing for like
a long-term kind of deal.
3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Super. He's a really good dude. So I don't know if he'll ever sub. Like he goes to different schools. So if you ever come across, I mean, he's really good.
I'll request him.
Steve Forbes.
I'll request him. I can do that.
When
we go turkey hunting in a few weeks.
No, he's a really cool guy. He's got a kid of his own, and he's
Steve. Let me tell you, Mr. Parham's classroom 13, Sagecrest,
he's
best kids ever.
He's a good guy. He saw JJ and he was like, so I ran to your son, and then he just was like, he gave JJ praise because JJ's a very
he's a good kid.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
My cousin Danielle, Mrs. Rogers, she's a 4th grade teacher at Cascade, and she loves JJ. She's always like, he's just so cute. He'll be in the
He's
wrong
a very
line.
quiet kid.
The beginning of the year, the funniest story was, I think you told me the story, but Danielle saw it.
Which one?
He's walking down no, I think Danielle told me this story because she was there.
She was there.
He's walking through the field towards the buses and he goes, I think my dad's picking me up. Pretty sure I'm going the wrong way, but...
Yeah,
and so she grabs him and is like, "I'll take him over."
Yeah. She came to my door. She came to my car door when I was waiting.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going the wrong way.
And I was like, it took me a minute. It like didn't register that was Danielle, for a minute.
Yeah, because you've been here when she's been here.
Oh,
like you guys
I've
have
met
been
her
at family things.
I've met her a few times.
It's just funny,
it just
but it's so
register
different
at that time.
In that moment,
I was like, oh, hey.
yeah. So, he's just so like, I don't know. He's respectful, but direct. So he's like, I'm going to tell you what's wrong without saying it, but I'm going to do what you're telling me to do.
No, my son.
But my dad's over there.
He's respectful sometimes.
He's a good boy. He is.
He was going to come over today. I was just telling Tom this story, and obviously it got late. We were at the hell. We were in hell.
Yeah.
So the trampoline park. He needed a shower, eat. It was already past 8. And so we were like, yeah, you won't be coming,
Yeah.
And he did not like that. I want to live over there. I wish I could live over there with Tom and Blanca.
It's so great here.
And it was, he was so mad.
It's not the exact same.
Obviously he got sent to his room, and then I went in there to go talk to him before I left. I'm like, hey, I get it, buddy. Like it sucks. I get it. I get it. Your plans are not what because you know what?
He was really disappointed.
It's very, because I don't know. I know for me, or I don't know if this is most men, sometimes you have this plan in your head.
Yes. Oh, all the time.
Right? You have a plan. And I'm not a guy that plans ahead. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do plan, I have it down. Okay. At this time I'm leaving. At this time I'm going to be there. And if anything throws a wrench in that, it really annoys me. Pisses me off.
Yeah.
And he had that in him.
Yeah, he knew that he was going.
He had a stuffed animal, and he was like,
I will rip his head off.
No, he was. I'm like, hey, leave Bendy alone.
Don't kill Stuffy.
No, it was Ben. It wasn't Bendy. It was It was one of those fucking little creatures he has. I'm like, hey, don't take it out. It's okay, dude. I get it.
He was gonna kill somebody over.
I see you're frustrated. He was gonna rip his little fucking little, and he would have been super sad about it, right? I get it. He was like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, parents who lie. you know, a parent who lies and said they were gonna take him. I'm like, hey. I didn't lie, bro. Like, I didn't promise you,
bro.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, don't call me a liar. Oh, I think it's not okay for parents to lie to their kids when they say they're going to do something.
If I want to kill my fucking stuffy.
And I was like, hey, I get it. You wanted to go there and you can't. I get it.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
I didn't promise you, though. You know, like, if I was to promise you and then I broke that promise, yeah, I get that. Right. You know, I go, but I get that you're upset and you can't come. But I don't know. Just in that moment, it was just, that's what I mean. He's very direct. He doesn't hide his feelings at all. You have to
say, though, what was the last thing he told you?
Which one?
Enjoy.
Huh? Oh, enjoy your podcast. I'm getting ready to leave. All right, but I love you. You have a good night. I'll
have a good podcast.
He's like, enjoy your podcast. Have a good podcast. And I was like, okay.
Man, he's like, I know you're gonna go have fun.
Hey, that's not fair. Is what he said. It's not fair. I'm like, well, I'm an adult, so it is fair.
It is fair.
I want to be an adult. It's like, dude, enjoy your kid. Enjoy
Seriously,
it. No. And he throws himself on the bed. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
I guarantee you, someday you're gonna look back on this moment and go, "What the fuck was I thinking?"
So I always tell him, I go, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Watch what you're doing. Remember, I warned you. I'm warning you, dude. I am warning you. If you keep this up, mom's going to find out and she's not going to be happy and you ain't coming tomorrow. You know, like, I'm telling you, you can come over. Oh my God, I got to be a dude. Like, it's a big deal. Obviously, I get where he's coming from. But like I said, like, I was just like, mom's, pump your brakes.
Yeah.
You're throwing a fit right now. Just watch it. But he's so like he's one of those, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He has to say how he feels. I gotcha. Let it out, and I understand that, and I don't want to like
stifle that.
I don't want to, because I think that's what, for me growing up, like
you think you stifled too much.
It was always pushed down. Like,
do you think you still do that as an adult?
Fuck yeah, hell yeah, I still do that. I'm like, all right. And inside, I'm like, God damn, son of a bitch. I'm ripping the fucking end.
You're ripping his head off.
I'm ripping him out. I'm ripping that toy. I can't think of that name.
Actually, such a perfect analogy. You're right, because you talked about throwing, which I've done. Like, you took that cheapo.
That fucking controller.
And you threw it and broke it.
Controller I bought for like $30, dude. I fucking destroyed it because I got so mad.
I get it.
But no, like, I grew up and it was like, don't cry, stop crying, blah blah blah. Don't do this, don't do that.
You felt you didn't have a right to your emotions, right?
You know. And so growing up, I never thought about that. And even with like Elena, when she'd cry, hey, don't cry,
right?
Blah blah blah. But then I started like, no, don't do that. And to this day, she'll start crying, and we're like, you know, we don't say don't cry. You know, I mean, you got nothing to cry about. Like, you know, that's
I'll give you something to cry about.
No, see, that's what I used to hear. I'll give you something to cry about.
Right.
Motherfucker, I'm crying about something.
Right.
What do you mean you're gonna give me? What are you gonna do? Beat me now? You're gonna beat me because I'm crying about something?
Yeah. How dare you have emotion?
I never thought about it like that. You know what I mean? Like, because that's literally what you're doing. You're telling this kid I'm gonna give you something to cry about. When this kid, they don't know, they're crying because they don't know how to express
and then
whatever that
even
emotion.
Be like a chemical emotional thing. Like at those young ages,
like you're so
haywire.
There's
just shit
so
anyway.
much going on. You like I grew up around so much crap, which I've off and on spoke about, whatever.
Right.
But then now I can't cry.
Right.
Like, okay.
Well,
and so I found myself, I would do that when Elena was smaller. Like, hey, you don't need to cry. You don't need to cry over that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, well, for her, that's how she's expressing herself. So like, I don't do that I don't do that at all now. Like, I let her cry because that's how she expresses herself.
Right.
Like if something's stressful, she cries. I don't want her to
hold it in.
Yeah, because I found that sometimes she'll scratch herself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she'll get frustrated and she'll do this.
Right.
You know, and I don't want it ever to escalate for any kid, you know, obviously.
Right. And it's to some degree that's a normal thing.
I don't want that to be an escalation where it's like, well, now I'm hurting myself because I can't express myself. Yep. This is how I'm going to express myself.
And that is something I think just culturally, generally for America, because we've talked. I had a very different upbringing. I did not have insecurities. I didn't have major family issues. We argued, like I'd say that.
Well, see, that's
we
the
were
thing, like,
verbal arguers. Like we would yell at each other and those types of things. I don't know. The modern era, like nothing's okay. So I don't know. Maybe we were fucked up. I don't know, but
we were fucked
pretty.
Up. If you were growing up in the 90s, you were fucked up.
No.
If you're growing up,
if you thought Bill Cosby was the greatest,
if you weren't a family from any family that's 2015 or newer.
You fucked up.
You're good. You're fine. Yeah, obviously. Right. Anything that's 214 or older, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're garbage.
I'm like, I'm hiccuping.
No, like I think back on like this. I would get livid at video games, and the funny thing about it was my feeling of being inadequate and not good enough.
Well, and I think even as men that we still have that
I would get so angry. This is like I'm not as an adult, but younger. I would
even still
slam my controller down, and I would grab my fist like this, and I'd bite my fingers until I left marks.
Yeah,
and it was like this emotional release of like this physical pain. It's just like cutting. It's like the same thing as what they say kids like for cutting. I wouldn't draw blood, or like even there. I joking around. I left a mark.
You would do it to where it's like, oh, shit.
I would do it to the point of like it hurts. Yeah. And now like, okay,
I get
it. It is such a bizarre way to think about it, but it's sensical in some strange way.
It is.
I mean, it really is like you feel out of control. You feel not strong in some way. So you compensate for that in a way that hurts you, but you can validate your strength, and then
No, that makes sense because even now, like as a fucking 40-year-old man, like there'll be times where I have those feeling of being inadequate or I'm not good enough, or
it's not so much for video games for me anymore, but if I'm putting something together or I need something to work, if like I'm trying to rebuild something,
if you're trying to troubleshoot something or you're anything, right?
I told you the story about the pressure spigot. Washer, right? Or the spigot. I lose my shit.
Well, I think that's a typical guy thing, maybe
because you feel inadequate.
You feel stupid,
and if you don't feel good enough,
so what
you're gonna be tough by beating the shit out of something.
I was having that moment one day, and I want to say I was just having a moment like that not that long ago, really. I was just angry about something, and for me, I've noticed, and I'm starting to notice. I don't know if it's just because of this podcast or what it is, but I'm starting to notice things or triggers, maybe, or things that I'm noticing that it makes me feel better, right?
So like you feel like you're becoming more aware of things.
Yeah, I really am. I think I am.
Okay.
In a sense, am I stopping that? I don't know if I am or not, but I'm realizing what's triggering those moments.
You're
right,
seeing it better than you did before.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's us just having this open dialogue, because when we're talking, folks, it's not like we're just talking to talk. Like these are real things we're going through in these moments or whatever. Like this isn't stuff like happened a month, years ago.
This is our script, like 3 words. Yeah, so. The backside of a parking ticket.
Yeah. Like, some of this stuff is just like, I have one thing on here that we even brought up.
Well, I can't wait to get to that. But
I think we're
isn't this what therapy is? Like in all reality, I think it's just you talking and getting shit out and becoming aware.
I was mad and I just threw something and I broke it, and I was just like, just that feeling of just like. Just you release something, and so in those moments of like when you're younger,
feel good because you look at it and you're like, that was stupid, but like it feels fucking good.
It feels great. Like really even to this day, like when I break something, I've learned to not break valuable things. Right. Like I'm breaking. It was like I was cleaning something outside. That's what it was. It was a few weeks ago. I was cleaning something outside by my garage, and I was just livid over something. Right. not livid. I was upset.
I know what you mean. No, but in the moment, it
livid
does feel
crazy.
like lividity.
I was very upset, and I was just like, I didn't know what to express myself because I know I shouldn't have been mad, and that's where I was like starting to realize I was catching my emotions, right? Because I could realize at that moment,
you're catching your feels. If you
I was like, why am I pissed off right now? Like, something my wife said kind of upset me, and we ended up talking about. That's like I've mentioned this before. Me and my wife have a good relationship where we can talk.
But I don't think it is a normal thing for men to feel like we can talk about things that bother us right away. Yeah, I think we realize over time, right?
And I just was like,
but our initial reaction is
like,
to hide
I was really pissed, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then I threw my headphones back in because I was mowing the yard.
Mm-hmm. Which you're already physically kind of hyped up.
I was
because you're doing something physical.
I was doing that, yeah. And she brought something up that it was frustrating because she was right. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because she was being an asshole about it. She was very cool about it, right? She wasn't being a dick.
Right.
My wife's very, spot on. She's very direct. But she's not a dick about it all the time. Like obviously,
I know what you mean.
Our wives can be dicks. We can be dicks. She was correct in her approach to this thing, right? And I was just like, fuck. And I just like, whatever, and I threw the headphone, I just mowed the side of the yard. I didn't want to see anybody in the front because I was so annoyed. And then I started throwing stuff in my trailer because I'm trying to clean out my garage already. And I have that, the trailer full of garbage right now.
Yeah.
And I broke something. And I was like, fuck, that felt great. That felt so great.
So we were released.
Right? That felt great. Yeah. It felt great. And I'm not saying for guys or anything that this is normal.
This isn't like throwing a lamp next to your lady's head or something.
No.
We're not talking that kind of
it was garbage already. I threw it. It broke. Right. Am I saying this is okay to do? No, it's probably not. But I'm working through these emotions in real time. This is who I am in real life, right? This isn't something I'm hiding or saying like I'm not like this no more. No. I'm like this still, right? No. And I'm just a real guy. This is who I am.
Well, I think,
and so like I started realizing that like, dude, and then I stopped and I just started thinking, okay,
you kind of process through those.
What did she say? How she's right. And then it was about, the guy wanting the driveway going kind of by my property.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And so the way she brought it up, I got pissed, whatever. But she brought up really very valid points.
It is a frustrating feeling of you're going to have to be the one to deal with it, right?
Yeah. And I'm not a good person to deal with things like that.
And it puts stress on you because
I'm a nice guy. In the end of the day, I'm a nice guy. I don't like being a dick. Right. And it wasn't me being an asshole because at the end of the day, like that guy came back and I know I had said this, but after thinking, blah, 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 blah. And he was
really fine about it.
He was fine with it. He was just like, oh, well, where's the property line? You know what? I don't know if it will be. If it is, it's going to be a little bit. Like, I was like, well, once it gets to that point, you just let me know. We'll see where it's at. Maybe I can see the plans. I was able to think about it instead because I'm fly by the seat. Like
instead of
at that moment, I'll just go with what in my head. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. You can take my property. You can take you could take half of my property if you want for that. Obviously, because in that moment, I'm thinking I could use that. That's how I'm thinking. It's benefiting me, right? Maybe in that sense. Sure. But at the same time, the way it gets brought up, I'm like, okay, my wife says things, but she says things because she makes sense. She's a woman. Women are very good at analyzing things and in the moment really quick. I think with women, they can figure it out. Boom.
They sure can be.
These are the things. Well, why are you doing this? What's this about? Why is he going to do it? Why is he going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. You're like, overload, angry, break things.
System overload, break phone.
Yeah, that's how it is. I'm not even joking. System overload. Yeah, that's how it felt. It was like
I don't know why I did that.
I was so mad. I was mad. But you know why I was mad?
I've slapped my face on this like 5 times.
You know why I was mad? Because she was right. She wasn't in the wrong. She wasn't wrong about it. She was correct in her assumption. She was right.
I gotcha.
At the end of the day, like that's what it was. She was right, and I was not that I was wrong, but it was just like she was right in what she said, and I was just like, "Fuck," you know. I was like, "Fuck." Yeah. This is how I'm gonna let it out. It would have been wrong for me to be fucked up to her.
Sure.
You know, upset at her. And at the end of the day, we talked, and once I talked to the guy, just like, hey, you know, I spoke to him, blah, blah, blah. And we were cool. You know, I never let her see that moment. And that was a big thing for me, to not let her see me upset, because I had no reason to be upset at her. She didn't do anything to be. She was never mad.
Well, good because Blanca's seen me upset many times.
Well, no. Oh, bro. I'm not saying Alicia's seen me upset way more times than anything, right? But I did it in a way where I didn't show her that I was upset. Like, sometimes you can be upset.
Over
I was controlled, but she didn't see that, like, because she would have took it if she seen that. Like, I was pissed at her, and she would have been, and that would have drawn the wrong reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't mad at her. I was mad the fact that she was right.
See, but I think this is one of the things that tells you.
And so I just realized, that's why I went to the side of the house, because I was like, I have no reason to be upset.
But this is also like,
you know what I mean?
When you find the right person, you kind of know that you have, because like, you know, Blanca is the first person I've been with where if I have lost my shit and I'm like, I look like an idiot, I look ridiculous.
They point it out.
But they do. But there's also, you're not going to lose them. There isn't like this reaction like, I can't believe you. And
I'm out of here.
I'm done with you. Like it's.
But have you ever reacted?
But it's
in that
comment of like, let's figure this out. Like, you don't have to do that.
You don't have to act like a 4-year-old.
Like, this is like, you know, you can tell me this, and it's like there is something male.
It is
in the world. I don't know. It's not good, but it is what it is.
They tell you can tell them that, but it's really hard to tell
you
them
really
that.
And honestly, you cannot.
You can't. Yeah, exactly.
I understand. You know, we're in a very unique part of history where we're all about our feelings. The reality still remains. There's only so much people want to hear about anyone's particular story. No, right? Like,
in the end of the day, a woman does not want to see that their man's a puss.
Getting
or a weak
angry is a much safer feeling than getting sad.
Exactly.
Let's be real about it.
And we'll be honest.
Just a reality.
That's just how it is.
Why is the Ukrainian president so sexy right now? Because he's fucking angry, man.
He's angry.
It's not because
he's fucking people up.
They ruined my country. He's saying we're going to fuck up the Russians. We are going to kill the Russians.
Give
Wherever
me a gun.
we go,
I need more.
Give me a
I
gun.
need more ammo.
I don't need to go to America. I need ammunition. Kill them.
Yeah.
And all the ladies are like, oh, anger is a more.
Yeah.
Just right there.
What?
But like, no, but I mean, like,
motherfucker.
Anger for man is a much safer emotion. Now, whether it really is or not, like intellectually, it's not. But
shrunk myself.
I thought you were gonna say this shit.
Like I hit the button and I shrunk. But no, you're right. Emotion.
But you know what I mean? Like in our base, our instant reaction, getting angry is a lot safer than getting sad.
It is.
And when we really analyze it, what we really feel is probably sadness or fear. But the reaction that we're going to show is anger.
It's
right?
anger because that's
in that moment, your issue, and I would have had the same feeling, is this fear of this social interaction where you promise something and then you have to go back and probably be the asshole in this scenario.
Exactly.
And
you're not used to doing that.
And you don't
I'm
think
not that
like,
guy.
And I don't know, like unless you've dealt with that a lot, like I guess if your job was to deal with property crises, like
that's normal. So this is what I had said when she told me that. I'm like, well, you need to talk to him,
right?
And then she didn't say anything rude to me or anything, but she was like, well, no, like she had her bullet points.
You're the one that told him that this is okay.
Well, she didn't even say nothing like that. She didn't say like, well, you said this. Like I just said, no, well, you got to talk to him because I already told him this. But she's like, well, no, I mean, you know, so you're going to do this, or he's, you know, you're paying for his property now, or you're doing this, or, you know, like she pointed out
she had logical.
She did. It was super logical. What she never came at me like,
it's your fault,
you idiot, you piece of shit. I took it that way though. You know what I mean?
But
and that's that's how guys take shit.
That's
like
an
we take it,
understandable reaction.
like, oh well, I'm a dummy. I'm just stupid. You know, like, and that's how it comes out. Like, obviously, but you're right. Like,
but that's the inferiority thing that I think many guys.
But
deal with,
it was more of a fear thing,
right?
Like,
but those are those base emotions. But how can a guy say, "Oh, I'm scared"? We don't rationalize. I'm afraid.
I'm scared.
We just get fucking pissed
and slap someone like Will Smith.
Example.
Will Smith, he got scared.
He was scared of Jada.
Well, no, he was scared in the situation where someone talked about his wife. He got upset. He was afraid because he laughed. Obviously,
right.
He seen that it wasn't cool for her, and that scared him because he knew how maybe she was going to react. Right. So
he had to go do something.
So out of fear, he went up there and was like, well,
and look at the consequence he's paying for it.
And now
10 years now, he doesn't
10 years. And she actually says, I don't know why he slapped him.
Are you fucking kidding me?
She's not backing him up. She's actually like throwing him under the bus with it. Like, oh no, he shouldn't have done that. That's what she said. He shouldn't have slapped him. You know what I mean? Like,
are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Like,
she flat out said that?
Yeah, he shouldn't have slapped him.
I'm going to verify that before I say anything because I got some harsh fucking words for
Well,
Jada
no,
Smith,
it was pretty fucked up. Like, it wasn't like she was backing him up on the situation. It almost sounded like, you know, they had their conversation.
So that she doesn't lose 10 years of like,
I don't know,
Oscars or some shit.
Oscars. She's a shitty
She's
actress.
not going to get an Oscar.
Yeah,
he was going to get the Oscars.
Like, he's the actor. He's the good actor. But anyway,
Jesus,
I'm just saying in that sense.
Okay, yeah, I'm
this whole
digressing
sense,
here.
Yeah.
I'm reacting with fear and anger. Yes,
that it was a fear situation in that example. So you're right.
I have a perfect example from my life though, too. So when Elliot was a baby, Blanca's mom brought over this clock. You know, Louis is always finding stuff at yard sales. And I really liked this clock. It was this standing clock. It was almost like this iron standing pedestal with a little arm that came off and the clock hung from it.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that.
Okay, so we used to have that in our living room.
Yeah.
And it was a
at
cool
the old
clock.
House.
Well, it was like winter time. I don't know why that matters. It doesn't really matter, but
it sets the mood. I got you.
Like, I think we came back from a party or something. Elliot was a baby. We hadn't been around him. So it's cold. We're all cold and chilly.
Windows are broke. I get it.
Windows are broken. Like so much stress. No, I mean,
you had to light a fire in the house. Okay.
So he was like a year old or like less than a year. I mean, he was little. He was crawling around, couldn't talk, like that kind of era, right? He grabs this clock and it falls over like almost on him. So I respond by grabbing this clock and like throwing it on the floor away from him.
Oh, yeah.
And Blanca's reaction's like,
why the fuck did you do that?
What are you doing? Like, my mom gave us that clock. I'm like, yeah, it's our clock. Like,
I don't give a fuck.
He grabbed it. It was falling over on him.
I saved his life, but cool, whatever.
It was a really bad reaction. And I know I did it because I was stressed as shit from work. At that point, I had a very stressful job and I was not handling well.
You were just in that moment.
But it fell towards my baby and it made me very scared and very angry, like very fearful for him.
I get it.
That was the actual emotion. I handled it.
And you honestly
had that slam by.
But at the same time, like the way I could see it is you didn't care that was a gift or whatever it was.
I didn't care about that fucking clock at all.
No,
at
you
that
didn't.
point. Like, you're going to topple over on my kid that easy? Was I able to really
what was the clock in the fucking Beauty and the Beast? Lumiere. Lumiere? You motherfucker.
You gonna hurt my kid? No, I don't do that.
Yeah, ended his life.
Sorry, clock. I he was never the same after that. He's still in a coma to this day.
Yeah, he walks with a limp.
I apologize. I broke his mustache.
Poor guy.
That was time is 3 hours off.
Oh, man.
But anyway, no, like I felt bad because, like, you know, now I rationalize it like that was an overreaction and not like I mean, probably throwing a clock across the room didn't feel my child any.
But did you feel good?
It felt good. It's still to this day.
That's
it still feels good. But
that's
like,
the thing, though. It feels good.
I taught that clock a lesson. I would never teach another human being.
That's what it's like to spring forward, fall back, kind of thing, right?
I was very angry about the time change. I didn't get a lot of sleep.
Damn it. Daylight saving time this bitch.
Is it okay? No.
No, it's not.
And I do not want to make it sound like I was just throwing things at people in my house.
No. You didn't even say that. You said you just threw this clock to the side.
It made me very angry. And that anger, and I'm not even close to like that angry anymore. But I think it really is like those moments, if you find yourself getting overly aggressive towards objects, like you got to look at what's happening in your life day to day that you feel is out of control. I think a lot of it for guys is like this feeling of not like a negative control, like I have to control everybody in my life, but just this feeling of like, what am I not owning? Like, what is it that I feel has control over me?
But I think that's the hard thing is like figuring that out. Really,
right. It is
like I'm 41 and I get so many moments like that now.
Moments, but you want it to be moments and not
just normal,
just like
the norm.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think some of that comes with age.
It does. Like
some of that comes with temperament, personality. Like
I won't lie. Like growing up, even when I was older, in high school and stuff, like I was always a chill person, but I was like not a snake because that sounds like I was a snaky, but I was like quick. I was quick to snap. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Like I gotcha. Certain things just triggered me, and I would just get pissed real easy. Right. Like I told the story about I couldn't find an address. I didn't have GPS then. I couldn't find this address that apparently that my brother was at. And I got pissed and I had a watch and I fucking slammed that bitch on the fucking street.
Felt fucking good, didn't it?
Right. It did. And I felt stupid because I loved that watch.
Yeah. Right? I know.
I bought it off some dude, came into Arby's one day and I gave him a salad for it.
Really?
Yeah, man. It was a guest watch. Was it a fucking authentic? I don't know.
But anyway, he took it for a salad, but
he got a salad out of it. Chicken salad out of it.
He was very hungry.
He got a fucking $6 salad out.
The whole time, right?
It was a. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a fucking nice watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it could have been fake. I don't know. It was just a nice looking watch. Yeah. It was nice. Had good weight to it. It was a good watch.
Nice.
I threw it though, but I was just pissed.
Right.
I'm not that guy no more.
It's
in that
moment,
sense.
though,
I
like
still have those moments, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now,
but I learned as I got older. Okay,
you know what is acceptable to break and what's not. You wouldn't have broken the $70 controller. You broke the $15 controller.
Yeah.
Right?
I broke the piece of shit Amazon controller, which was a really good controller.
Yeah, no,
I don't use it no more because I got my PS5.
Jeff Bezos has that yacht, but I mean, Amazon.
I have a PS5, and there's no way I'm breaking any of that shit.
Right.
Some of the games I've been
That's
playing,
the thing. Like there's a logic to it.
Yeah.
You know, but like, yeah, I mean, like I remember in college, I had like the PS2 when they started making them really tiny.
Yeah.
I bought one of those. And there was some game that pissed me off so bad. I think it was a Hitman game. And I couldn't figure out the mission. And I like threw the remote so hard it like cracked and broke. And then eventually the system fell off of the piece of shit I had it sitting on. Yeah. Whatever college thing I had, you know, I could afford. And then the whole thing wouldn't work. So you learn also through loss.
You do.
Over time, like
you learn.
Oops, I'm a fucking
What do they say? You live and
learn, then get love. So it's
whatever, something like that.
So
I don't know. Maybe I won't bring this up next just because we're kind of.
Are we coming out of time?
Oh yeah, we're pretty far deep.
Well, how far are we?
140.
Oh, okay. Well, what is it that you were gonna?
So okay. You know what? Fuck it.
You know what?
Fuck it.
We'll cut some. We can make some shorts out of some of this.
We can cut it down. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So basically, kind of what I had, which kind of this ties into. I didn't see us going into this, which is cool.
You know what? It's good though because look at adults. Like here we are, grown men that
act like little kids sometimes. So are we acting like little kids though?
Or are we acting like the way grown men are expected to act in this modern society?
This is how we were conditioned, right? I wasn't conditioned because this is what I was taught. Like like I said, I grew up watching my mom get beat. Is it conditioned me? Am I, like smacking my mom philosophically as I break a controller? I don't know. Right?
Who knows? Yeah.
I don't know what the word, not.
No, I know what you mean.
What's
like,
the word? Metaphorically.
Right.
Is this a
right.
metaphorical slap
Right.
to the face of
Is it
my
symbiosis?
mother? Yeah.
Are you putting the game in the place of your mother's face?
Yeah. No, it's nothing like that. Like, like I said, like I think most men, we hold so much in,
Mm-hmm.
and there's women that are the same way.
I'm sure that
My daughter's the way.
Right.
Elena's that
Right.
way. She holds a lot in. That's how she is.
Mm-hmm.
But in this sense, man, we hold a lot of shit in, and the way we let out is just we just kind of burst.
I think women's, because I have relatives that cry.
Elena cries,
and their feeling is they hate to cry, but they do. We don't have the option to cry, so then we throw something. Because
and I don't cry. Like I
don't either.
Like I'll cry because like my dog passed away. Yeah, right. I cried. Or,
no, there's like tears. Have you cried for longer than a minute?
No, never.
I lost my uncle, and I loved my uncle, and I cried for like a minute.
Dude,
I don't think I can cry anymore.
I don't know. I've told Alicia this. I don't know if there's something wrong with me. Like, I think I told you guys this. Like, I feel like I'm a sociopath.
You and I have talked about it.
Like, I don't know if there's something wrong with me.
No, I just think it's like you.
Like, and it's not that I don't feel bad. It's just I don't feel that way. Like, I feel that way. I feel bad. Don't get me wrong. It's a really hard.
It's like a conditioned reaction, though, right? Like
Alicia, she was really heartbroken, and she was you can see that she was broken up about our dog passing away. We had to put him down, and she was very sad about it. Me, on the other hand, like I was probably equally as sad, but I didn't show that.
Yeah. See, I get restless.
Like a little bit of tears came out, but at the same time, I was just like, I don't know if it's a man thing where it's like, well, they're crying, so I need to stay strong for them.
Yeah.
And it could be, and that could have been what it was like off the, like
right
in the subconsciously, right? I have no idea. It's just there's certain things that I'm just like, okay, I better not cry.
Right.
Like, I better.
Yeah.
Sad time. Well, okay. Anybody want ice cream?
And I lost my grandma that I was very close to when I was young, and that loss was so massive.
Yeah.
That everything else is like relative to that. And I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. It does very much.
Yeah.
Like
but it doesn't equal that.
But no, like, I cried a few tears to my uncle.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna, when like, if God forbid, JJ loses his grandma or Elena, right, for that matter, that's going to be tough for them.
Right.
That's going to be very hard on them. And so like, that's going to break my heart. So it's like, God, how do I handle that for them?
Right. But you're looking at it more secondhand. How do I direct that emotion?
Like I want them to need? I want them to cry. I want them to feel an emotion.
Right.
I don't want to hide that emotion from them.
And I don't want to make them feel like what they're feeling is just normal. And like, I want them to know it's okay. But like our generation too, I don't think it mattered what your background was. We were not a generation that still talked about shit.
No, we weren't emotional creatures.
Like we were just, you get back to it. When my grandma died, and she was like the center of our family. Yeah. So like that's the pain that I've held, which is pretty light compared to a lot of people's. But
it's pain. I don't know what that's like.
We felt it.
I don't know what it's
like. Everything changed for our family at that point. And it was, I think really we probably should have gone and seen a therapist over it. It was
that hard.
For us, for the little bit that we'd lived.
No, but I'm saying like that's still pretty big
in many ways. Yeah. Like she was such an instrumental force in our lives.
That makes sense.
That there was, I don't know, it was a very difficult thing to even process.
Yeah.
And so for our kids, like there's something to be said for like, okay, like we got to be tough. We got to get through this. That's good. But there's also a balance out of like, this is not a normal scenario. This is not
something
that happens every day.
Yeah, exactly.
This is something tough that we go through very few times in our life. And we need to do what we need to do to get through this and get to where we're okay again.
Yeah.
And I don't blame anybody for it. I don't think my parents did anything wrong. I don't think we did anything wrong. I just think, I think about mistakes I made growing up. things I allowed myself to do or the ways I felt about myself.
Yeah.
That I looked at through this lens of this event in very obscure ways that as an adult, I can reflect on and say that makes no sense at all.
Okay.
But from that age when you don't have the experience, it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
And things that make
Which makes sense.
Right. It makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
Things that you hate yourself for or like whatever.
Yeah.
And that you really have to get to a certain age to really appreciate and understand where you can kind of cut yourself a break.
Yeah.
Because you're a fucking kid.
Well, it's tough because when you're that young, sometimes you'll hold on to that stuff for longer than you probably need to.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
You're like, damn, I'm a piece of shit for whatever reason. And then you're just holding on to this. And then, 20 years pass and you're like, God, why would I think I was a piece of shit?
That's the thing.
I wasn't a piece of shit.
And you realize how normal you were.
Now you're thinking, I'm so stupid. Why was I I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid.
But the reality to a kid is so much more limited.
Yeah.
I mean, like what as being okay or not okay or whatever is so skewed. Like once you're in your 20s, 30s, you're like, yeah.
And I think that kind of brings up my points. Like, and now that I read this, this can like really attest to anything. So what's the best way a kid can learn, right?
Right.
Like and at the time when I wrote this down, it was more of a discipline thing.
Right.
Like, so if your kid acts out of hand, like what's the best way to handle that? How can they learn that that's not okay?
Right.
Obviously a lot of parents, like when I grew up, it was, you get your ass beat,
Yeah.
I'm not saying my mom punched me or anything. I mean, she just made me like stick like knives inside of light sockets and shit,
just
nothing
mild,
bad.
mild stuff.
No, I'm just kidding. She made me do that once, but not because I was beating ass or nothing.
You didn't do anything to deserve it. She just thought it would be a great Sunday afternoon.
My mom's probably on drugs or something. But like in that sense, I would get I'd get butt whoopings and stuff.
Right.
I ate a bar of soap.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole bar, but like
you put it in your mouth. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So that's where this came from. But the way you're talking, like, again, like how do kids learn? Like, because like growing up as a kid, and something tragic happens, maybe your parent didn't go through something tragic.
Right.
And so they don't know how to handle it. So as a kid, I think you're handling it different. So your parents are like, hey, why are you crying? Your grandma just died. It's okay.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, and I think too, like it's just a generational thing. I think in our generation, things are so different than they were before.
Yeah.
Like the old generation. And I mean, to some degree, we're in that group because we weren't raised with therapy and with stuff. But like, it's much more normal now for a kid to go to a therapist just to touch base and make sure everything's okay than it was when we were kids. Exactly. It was not a normal thing.
No, I can't think of anybody in my family that's gone through a therapist.
I mean, I have now. I've gone to one.
Well, no. I'm saying like for me, like,
but
I've never gone through one. I don't know if my mom or my brother or sister, I don't know if they've gone through one or like anybody. Like I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, so yeah.
Right.
Like it is situational and it is something that like, we didn't go through when we were kids, but now it's okay now for kids now.
Well, and I think that's the reality. Awesome. It's a good thing.
It is.
Because therapy is not like the pseudoscience thing. It's not really like, oh, I'm going to trick you into thinking something. Really, what it's about is you getting your feelings out and somebody letting you know that that's okay.
I won't lie to you. And I'll bring this up just because, this is kind of what our podcast is. This is kind of just weirdly blended. I'm trying to like point. There we go.
Just weirdly
I was like, blended. Just weirdly blended.
I'm going backwards on purpose.
Just weirdly blended. I'm not seeing double. But no, like, so I remember when me and Blanca, like we were splitting up, like it was brought up therapy or counseling or whatever.
Right.
But for me, I was just like, what's that going to do? Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a reality.
For me, this is how we're gonna feel, and this is how it's gonna be. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna work. Right. So no, I'm not okay with that. Like it was one of those things, right? And so, like the way it is, it seems like like now, obviously, like therapy probably is a good thing.
Sure.
And like it's cool that you've seen one, or like like I think it's okay for kids to see them now. Like. Right. I can see the benefit.
There's a difference in the dialogue around
like
it
now that I'm older,
yeah,
I can see the benefit in it.
Right.
At that time, obviously, I was younger and I was I was like, for me, I was just like, it's not gonna work for me because I don't care. I don't care for that, you know.
Right.
But so like as I got older, now I see the benefit, like because for me, what we do is therapeutic.
I think so.
Right?
I love it.
Or am I breaking walls down? I don't know if I'm.
But
breaking
aren't we?
walls
We're doing
down.
the same thing you do with a therapist. I can tell you, this is all it is. You talk about shit. And you think about it.
Do I say shit that I probably shouldn't? I probably say a lot of shit that I probably shouldn't. But I just kind of like say what I feel, you know, at the same time.
Right.
I hold a lot back at the same time, but at the same time, like I'll throw it out there. Like I don't care. Like I want people to like relate to us.
Yes.
And so this is therapeutic.
I think it is.
So getting back on the subject, like I can see why like I want, you know, like I think it's okay now. Like it's gonna be cool. Like it's that kids can see that you know being in therapy is okay. It's not weird. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
Like this is how you're gonna get it.
It doesn't have to be therapy, but
because I used to think that it was gonna be some mumbo jumbo. Here, read these bones. This is how it's gonna be.
Right.
The bones tell me you're gonna live until you're 12. You know, like you know what I'm saying.
We're gonna burn the feather and
Oh, you will die at 38.
Yeah.
It's not pseudoscience. Like really what it is just getting you in touch with what is happening.
Because how easy was it to talk to your parents? It wasn't. Like for me,
I can't say it was my parents' fault, but for me as
most
a kid,
kids, it's hard to talk to your parents.
I had a lot of guilt as a kid.
I think that's
if there
normal,
was any kind of feeling of like anything that I thought maybe was wrong,
I think that's a standard thing.
I felt a lot of guilt, and I shut down around it. Yeah,
I to this day, when stuff happens, there's times where I feel myself being in that moment as a kid. I'm 41, but I have these moments.
Exactly it, and it inhibits you from
like
being right. It inhibits you from being who you know you need to be. And there's not one person out there
like
that's not true for.
You get in this, all of a sudden you feel like you're 10 years old again or whatever, you know, like you feel like
your fear that you're not going to know how to handle something.
Oh my God, I upset this person. Like for me, it's like, oh, I upset my wife, right? We'll say, which I've done.
Right. No.
Who
really?
hasn't, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the fear like I'm afraid of her. No. It's not that I'm afraid of her.
It's the fear of the social interaction of the whole thing, right?
Yeah, like so I get caught in this moment where I'm just like I find myself feeling like a kid. Right. And it's not like I mean to.
No. But it kind of pisses you off, right? Like
I'm not like a fucking bitch. I feel like a little bitch. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie. That's how it feels.
But see, I think we have to talk this way because like whatever our brains go to, that we have to dissect.
But then
the reaction and what happens with it. Yeah.
But then again, being my age now, it's like, and being things I've gone through, I still feel those ways, but at the same time, I know I need to say something.
Yeah. And you know, she's not just going to walk away because you say something.
Yeah. And there's been times where I've said that, so where do we stand now? I've said some stupid shit like, she's like, what do you mean? Where do we stand now? We're fine. Why do you always say that? Like, and to me, I just always think like maybe for her, she's always been that person that maybe if she's felt away, she said her, you know, but she's a woman. You know, women are going to feel that way.
But as a man, do you always feel that you're worthy of it?
No, never.
Completely ready for that moment when she just says, I don't need you and is ready to walk away.
No, because I always feel like she's ready to walk away.
This is the fear, I think, for men. Like you
always think your woman's going to walk away.
If you don't have power, and this may not be something that sounds like something we should be comfortable with talking about, but it is a reality of the world as it is constructed today, good or bad. Men are men when there's power.
Yeah.
When she wanted you and you're just the coolest guy and she's so lucky to have you. Well, a lot of us, that's not really the feeling we get. The feeling we get is like, oh, I'm lucky I got her.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, like that's when I talk about my relationship with Blanca. Like I have gotten to a point of trust with her because
exactly.
There've been a lot of times like if it was an ex-girlfriend or something, we would have broken up.
Oh yeah,
it would have been over for something way stupider.
1,000%.
And I don't know if that just comes with age and you just get older and you both kind of figure it out. Like it's never going to be perfect. I don't know. Or you have kids and it's like, well, I'm not going to. like screw that.
Oh yeah.
But it's interesting. Like
you learn to work.
You get to a point where it's like, okay, but we're reacting to the experience, right? Like we're reacting to the fact that there has been loss for much stupider things.
Yeah.
And so what are you supposed to think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're just going to stick around? No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do have to kind of retrain your brain that, people do stick around.
Yeah. I get it. Because that's how it is. Like when I would mess up or whatever, like I would think, oh, great, it's over.
Right.
It's over. But then it's like, no, well, we need to talk about this. What do you mean we need to talk about this?
No, you just go away and you feel sad for a while.
Let's break up. No, but like when it, I think it does come with age. I really do. I think it could be an age thing. It could be a maturity thing.
Right.
Mature, like men.
But age and maturity go hand in hand. I mean,
yeah, and obviously they say men mature slower than women, which I can believe.
Do we, or are we just not allowed to?
But we're not allowed to express.
Be honest. I mean,
I think that's where it comes is like, as men, you feel like you're not allowed to express yourself.
I think emotionally, how do we mature?
Like
how are we allowed to mature?
Like growing up, it was not acceptable for a man to express himself, right?
No.
You got to be macho.
And even today, like you can make jokes about yourself.
Yeah, but
you can't actually have any kind of.
Women say they want this sensitive man until the sensitive man approaches them, and they're like, "No, this guy's a bitch."
And there is a reality. Like, yes, you want that side of it, but you also want the guy that can take care of shit. And
they might not say that, but at the end of the day, that's how it is.
Men aren't just born that way. Like that's the thing. Is like there are I don't know. There's growing that brings you to being that whole person.
And I said, I'm in my 40s, and do I feel like I'm a that person? I feel like I can handle myself now. Like, but do I still have those emotional issues? Yeah, I do. Like,
I think it's very normal.
I still feel inadequate on certain things. I still feel like sometimes I still feel like a piece of shit. Like my wife has heard that before. Like, there's times where I feel that way, and it's just she's there for me, and she will help me through that stuff. And I think it's just finding that person that's going to be able to help you through that, but also understand that, like, okay, let's do this.
Man, maybe this isn't okay, but where's it coming from?
No,
like,
it's like, oh, it's okay.
Issue
okay. Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
When I say okay, it's like, okay, what's going on?
I know
let's
what you mean.
About
like, let's get you through this thing and get you fixed.
Like, maybe you do need therapy, like, and she said that maybe you need to talk to someone, but like, and being a macho man, I'm like,
you don't need shit.
I'm good.
Come talk to me.
I got a podcast.
Let's have a drink.
I got a podcast.
Because alcohol solves everything. So
it's another bottle.
But to your question, though.
But how do you?
The best way kids can learn. Like if you're talking discipline, I think it depends on the kid.
It depends on the kid.
Some
so
kids
you can
need
either
a
talk
spank.
to them.
Some kids just disappointment. I mean, like
JJ,
there's a real range with kids.
I think my son, for him to learn, it's not physical. I don't need to beat the fuck out of my kid.
Same way. No.
Do I need to talk to him and sit him down? Like my son is very mature for a 7-year-old. He's very emotionally mature, but we also say he's an old soul because the way he acts is very he just has this old soul to him. Like he's very mature for a 7-year-old. Like he can talk, he can express himself very well.
Right. I would not be surprised if you wanted a hot cup of tea before bed.
Oh no, I would not be shocked at all. Yeah. Like he's very just like, this is how I feel. Like, and he'll talk to me that way. Like, no, I'm just mad. Like, I'm not okay. Like, and so for me, I'm always like, okay, and so for him to learn, it's just like, express yourself, And I wish I would have, and there's things about me where I'm like, I wish I would have done that with Elena, like express yourself.
Was at a time where that would have
But again, it was different because the way I expressed myself was the way, that's just how I express myself. Maybe the way she is now,
Right.
I kept things bottled up or almost like, nah, don't cry. Tough it out. Why are you crying?
Well, that's what's so interesting.
You're missing your finger.
Like,
why are you crying?
Right.
And
I it's just weird. Like a lot of my issues come from the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we did not have similar childhoods.
I think that's how kids learn, is from how we learned. and how we can fix.
Yeah, it's just so odd,
You know
though,
what I mean?
because
Like we learned this way, so let's not. Maybe it didn't work out, so let's make our kids learn it this way.
Right.
I think that's where kids can learn.
Well, I think that
from our mistakes.
A lot of it is making kids realize too, like what. I don't know how you do it. And that's, I think, the problem is, as a parent, you don't just magically have the answer.
You don't.
When I was,
if you got 4 kids, you got 4 different personalities.
Well, that's it. And like, so the things that really stuck with me when I was in, I think at the latest kindergarten, I had a neighbor who, from what she said, was abused by her brother.
Mm-hmm.
So we were behind the bushes and things happened, you know. And as a little, I mean, at the time, I felt horrible. I was a horrible human being for it. But I look like, my God, would you look at a kindergartner and be like, you awful, awful person.
You piece of shit.
You piece of shit little boy. Like,
you wouldn't.
My friend,
oh my God, you poor thing,
was not really any older than I was. And she had gone through something that I don't believe was not.
No,
I
was molested as a kid.
You know, I mean, it's like, I've been there. And those are the types of things where it's, these things can happen in your life that have decades of repercussions that it's really not anybody's fault.
No, it's not. You just,
and I had very supportive parents. I could have gone to them and said, Mom and Dad, I touched the pussy today.
Well, no, but dude, that's how it was for me.
You know, like, I mean, it was so stupid little kid things. Like it was like so stupid. And I can see that as a 30-something-year-old man.
Well, yeah, but like at the same time,
when you're 5, like I'm a bad person.
Well, no, I get it, because I was molested as a kid.
Yeah,
from like a stepbrother, stepsister, like no, maybe not a stepsister, but a stepbrother. Like me and her, you know, we were molested, and like. It's kind of one of those things, like you don't know what to do, you know, you don't know how to express. I can't say nothing to my mom, so you know, I'm not saying nothing.
And that's, I don't know that it matters what kind of a parent you are. I think doesn't. I don't know. Maybe there is.
I don't know. Maybe there is.
That's the thing that has bothered me to this day.
But I think my kids, also as a parent, you should be able to pick on cues. Maybe your kid's acting different.
Like, do you find that with those fears? Because I had a few moments in my life that were on that vein of things, but I never know, do you tell your child that these things have happened so that they're aware that if it happens to them, it's
I don't think you openly throw it out there.
See, that's the thing. I haven't.
Hey, no, I don't think it's like one of those things like, hey, you know, about 34 years ago, just got to throw that out there. I did this and this happened to me. You know what I'm saying?
You want about time I put a dick in my mouth?
Hey, you want to know about that?
No, I
experimented. Remember in high school?
I agree, but it's so difficult because it's like at the same time, I know who I was. I hit it very well.
Oh, I hit it.
You know, anything that happened, and you know, it's not even like I don't mean.
I think that's why Elaine is good at hiding things.
See, but that's what scares me.
It's scared because I was that way. Like I could hide my emotions. Right. I could hide not all of my emotions, because there was times I could like shit would come out, but
rage.
There was shit that just. To this day, my mom probably like the only reason I know if she would ever find out is because she'd listen to this podcast. Right. But she doesn't know that me being molested. Like she doesn't know that. Like they don't know about it. I don't even know my brother and sister know about that.
Well,
but like my wife knows really about it. Like
talk about. But
yeah, like hey, you know. I
wouldn't even call like
how's that burger? By the way, I was molested when I was 7. You know,
well, like I wouldn't. Every time something happened to me, it was like around my age. So like I wouldn't even call my thing like molestation, but it was just your kid shit.
Yeah. That I feel like mine was because like it was my stepbrother was older than I was.
Yeah, that
you know, like by like 4 years or something like that.
Yeah,
like it was not okay. Like obviously, me and my stepsister were the same age,
right?
But like there was shit like you know what happened like. When I didn't look at it then, I knew it was not okay. But then, like the more I looked at it, like when I got older, I'm like, "Fuck, dude."
You kind of realize,
but I like kind of just threw it back there,
right?
So does like some of the shit stem from that? Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Stem from when I grew up, but like I don't know. To be honest with you, like, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I don't know if that stuff stemmed from it.
Right.
Do it that move forward from it? Do I dwell on that? I don't.
I
dwell
think
on
it
none
really
of that
depends
shit.
on who you are too. Like I was a person, I did dwell on it. I looked at it.
I think at a time I did, but at a point in my life, I was just like, fuck it, whatever.
Right.
Let me just bone these bitches now. Be a hoe. No, I'm just kidding. No, I had my hoey moments.
And I'll move past this. It's fine. It's a cliff note in my life story.
I know. I'll just mow through these 400 women.
Half a chapter.
I'm just kidding. Not 400.
No.
It was like 700.
No, I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I think when it comes to disciplining a child, that's very different than like emotionally supporting a child. What do they need? Well, some kids need a spanking. They just do. The physical pain is the only thing that's going to, not like beating the shit out of them, but reasonable physical pain is the only thing that's going to tell their brain this isn't going to work. Some kids, all they have to do is be, have disappointed you in some way, and that's going to crush them. And then,
mental abuse is so much better.
Mental or emotional or physical abuse, which one is best? No, but truly, we need to be careful with what we call abuse because, you should not play games with your kid.
No,
you shouldn't make it uncertain.
Hey,
I think when children know what to expect and you set reasonable boundaries, if your child is one that needs to be spanked, if they know that they're only going to be spanked when they really cross a line and they understand what they did to deserve a spanking, and we're talking, a butt spanking.
I used to get spanked.
That is absolutely okay in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if your kid doesn't need that to get the same. No, I spanked Elliot not that long ago, and I felt bad about it because he's typically not a kid that does.
I did it because I love you, is what my
Why did you make me do that, Elliot?
No, that's what I would get.
No, but like Elliot, in this case, he was playing around.
Yeah.
And I was getting frustrated, and I told him, like, are you playing or are you serious? He said, I'm serious. And I kind of tell he was playing, but at the same time, it was getting to the point. I was making it clear, I'm not okay with this.
Like, I'm not playing.
He was saying things and he was doing things. I'm like, this is not okay. You need to tell me, are you playing or are you serious? And he said, I'm serious. I said, if you're serious, I'm going to spank you. He said, spank me. I'm serious. And that was as hard as I slapped him on the butt.
Well, no, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like
it's one of those words he's just like,
but he was so emotionally shocked that I spanked him. Like he was just like, oh. And
I get it.
And it was a reset. And I told him right afterwards, like, buddy, I don't want to spank you any more than you want me to spank you. This hurts me. I don't like to spank you.
Such a thing.
I want to cry. I don't like doing this, but you don't get to treat me like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get to talk back to me. You don't get to hit me.
Yeah.
And just think that you're playing a game. I asked you. I'll pop you, motherfucker. But like, I mean, it was just like one of those things.
Just
like
kidding, we wouldn't pop it.
No, but in that moment, like he did need to understand what you're telling me is. I'll win every fight.
yeah. Until you grow up older.
I'll have a better record than freaking what's his name?
Mayweather. I was gonna say Mayflower.
Mayflower.
Than the Mayflower.
Yeah, the Pinto and the Santa Maria.
Yeah. Polio, motherfucker.
But when it comes to this other side of it, I think emotionally for your kid, the only advice I'd say is from my experience, and this is my experience, so it might only affect a kid just like me.
Yeah.
My parents, not their mistake at all. Just like, I don't think I would have done any better in the circumstances. But I do think in my growing up, there was this idea that there's a normal amount of pain that teenagers go through.
Yeah.
And there wasn't an understanding that even if it's normal, and even if you realize that as a 30-year-old, as a 13-year-old, as a 12-year-old, you don't have the same perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So just be aware that just because it is a normal part of growing up, treat it in the way where you validate the side where your feelings about it are like, no, you're right. This is not a good thing. This is not okay.
If you feel it's not okay, say something.
Yeah, and I don't know how to word it because from the parent side, I still don't have it figured out. I don't know what the right way to approach it is.
If you're a kid or whatever, and I don't think kids listen to this, but if they did,
don't, because
it's crazy. It's all over the place. But if you're a kid, whatever. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you ever feel a certain type of way, don't be afraid to tell your parents. And I've tried to tell my kids that, and it's easier said than done, right? I tell I tell Elena, I tell any of the kids, like, if you feel like you need to talk, like, talk to me. Like I'm that's what I'm for. Like,
right.
I've been there.
Right.
You know, like,
well, the reality is,
and that's easier said than done, because I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where it's just like, you might feel judged by your parents, or you might feel like you're getting in trouble, or you might feel this way.
And like, you think about like the limited experience they have, like whatever the worst possible thing our kids could have done.
Yeah.
Is nothing
Murder.
Compared to what? Well, I mean, that might be pretty bad. But
no, I'm just kidding.
I
But
doubt
you know
they murdered. But
yeah,
no, but I mean, like it's kind of true. Like that, but their experience wise, like the fear that they probably feel about exposing what they've done is the equivalent of like, oh, I murdered someone.
Yeah, and
you know,
I guess it's making them feel okay, that it's okay to. Don't feel, you know, like, I don't know. It's hard to really say like, don't feel that way, but because they will feel that way. But like, I guess that's the thing.
That's the thing. Like, don't make it feel
now
abnormal,
that I say that, don't like, tell your kids don't feel that way. But you know what? You feel that way. It's okay.
Yes.
Let me know.
Let's
help each other.
An awful thing. I
want to help you, and if you feel awful, like, let's talk about it. Like, that's cool with me. You know, like. Yeah. I guess that's, you know, I'm like literally right at this moment realizing maybe me saying like, don't feel that way, let's talk. It's really invalidating their feelings.
So I think that's what it comes down to. Is like
I'm literally thinking that right now. Yeah. Like, maybe I should be more saying, it's okay to feel that way.
Right.
Let's just talk.
And I know that I would crush my mom. I might not know how it feels. You know. And so I don't like my parents were very supportive people. Yeah, so like, again, there is nothing I could say ill about my parents. But at the time, the feeling I had was hearing like, this is just normal. Like, this is what it's like to be a 13-year-old or whatever. You know, you don't feel like it's normal at that age. You feel like, no, I feel fucked up. Like,
this feels wrong.
Is not like, okay, this is normal. Okay, so this is, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like they're abnormal.
No, but I think like, at the same time, it could have been obviously what they like did was wrong.
Like, you know what? This is a normal thing to go through, but
you
at
feel
the time
this
that
way.
You're going through it, like, these are real feelings, and we need to talk about it. Okay. And so I don't know.
I need to start saying that. I just thought about that.
I don't know the right way to say it.
No, I think the thing to say is, you know what? You feel this way because you can't tell someone how they feel.
Right. Don't feel like that.
Don't feel like, because they feel like that.
My parents never said that.
No, they didn't. But like, I'm just saying, like, I think, like, I'm just thinking this is myself. Like, you don't need to feel that way.
Right.
Like, as nice as that sounds, when you think about it, it's like, well, they do feel that way.
They do. And you telling them not to isn't going to change that.
Exactly. Yeah. So they might already feel like, well, I can't say anything because you told me not to feel that way.
Right.
So like, as a parent, if you ever say that, because I literally just said what I've said before.
Well, and you think
you don't need to feel that way. And I when I say it, I'm saying it out of the kindness of my heart. Like, hey, you don't need to feel.
But it's also us feeling bad, right?
Yeah,
and
like,
we don't want to feel bad.
Sorry.
Don't make me feel bad with how bad you feel. I want you to feel good because that makes me feel good. Well, and then they feel guilty for making us feel bad.
I say like, hey, you don't need to feel like you're wrong. Like, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I get, you feel wrong, but you know, let's talk. Like, why do you feel wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, you know, I don't know. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense to myself.
I think that makes sense to me too. I don't know in the pressure situation that I would do it right, but no, I think there is. Yeah. And
there'll
again,
come a point, I'm sure.
So my parents, I'm a very fortunate person. Like, the worst thing my parents ever did was just tell me, you're okay. Everything's okay.
It's gonna be okay.
I had supportive parents. I had good supportive parents. So this isn't.
They're from England.
You know,
if you guys didn't know.
It's
okay,
right.
Tom.
It's okay. We're sending you to
we're going to send you to a
visiting school.
We'll send you to the boys' home. Yeah.
You'll learn how to do magic. Yes. No, but
I don't know.
Anyway, good times. I think, you know, hey, to you parents out there, hang in.
Hands off to you.
Yeah.
Hands off. Hats off. Hats off.
Hats off. That's hats off.
I don't know. Anyway, I think we can end it.
Yeah, we may have to cut this back a little bit, but
no, hell no, we don't. I think
Okay.
you know, at the end of the day, like this is it. This is who we are. We've made mistakes. We learn to grow, and I think that's where, for me, like just talking the way we were just talking made me realize some of the things might have done wrong.
Sure.
And is it wrong in the sense where you're like this shitty parent? No, it's not.
It's wrong in the sense that we're still learning. And
we're still learning.
Like, I'm way to deal with things.
Like I'm super guilty. Like I said, of just telling my kids, you don't need to feel that way, because in the end of the day, like that's how they feel. I don't want to invalidate their feelings, and that's what I've done. I've done that.
I have too.
You know, like, and I don't mean to do that. I don't mean to do that in a way where I don't want them to feel that way. Like, feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, but don't be alone in that feeling.
Yeah, you don't need to be alone. I'm here for you. I've been there. Because in the end of the day, the feelings that they're feeling, you felt.
And I think that's the reality of it. It's like when they realize, oh, this is normal because you have been through it. Like, and
when your kids realize, like, shit.
Right.
My dad or my mom, they've been through some shit, like, too. Right. Like, they know, okay.
Right. They weren't just perfect.
Instead of saying, like, oh, I've been there. Yeah. I've been there. You don't need to feel that way. That's what we say. Right. As a parent, like, honestly, that's what you say. Oh, I've been there. You don't need to feel that way. Okay. I do feel that way. Tell me.
Yeah.
Like, instead of saying, you know, like, okay, I get what you're feeling. Like, let's talk about it. You know, it's okay to feel this way. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Maybe I can help.
Right.
That's probably the more correct way to say, you don't need to feel that way. I've been there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's help. Maybe I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can't.
Right.
But at the same time, maybe you can be open with me.
But I love you anyway.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
I hear you.
Like I said, we're learning. We're parents. We fuck up.
Well, that's like what we always say. We don't necessarily have that.
I don't have the answer.
We're here to have the conversation.
We're having the conversation. Yeah. If you guys realize some shit that maybe would work or not, like hit us up in the comments.
Idiots. That's not
Email us. Fucking call us.
If you're a child expert and you think that our advice is god-awful.
Dude, I would love to hear experts from children.
There's a local lady that she's an old neighbor of mine that I think is pretty awesome. Get
her on the show.
I know. I should reach out to her. Leafa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Leave her.
She's pretty.
Don't leave her alone.
She's pretty great.
Don't show her that.
She had Elena loved her.
Oh yeah. So, she did.
Yeah.
But anyway, everyone, you guys have a good week. Thank you for listening to our 2-hour podcast. We haven't had one that long enough.
No, we'll try to keep it shorter.
No, typically. I thought we had some good shit though.
We'll do some shorts.
It was good.
We'll do some shorts so you can hear some of those pieces without.
I thought we had some good stuff there. I thought we had some gold.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right.
We love you guys.
Thank you for listening.
Keep it strong. You guys have a good week.
All right.